Happy Monday, everyone. It is time for our second dose, our second action here tonight, here in, well, probably one of the most beautiful settings on all the world, isn't it? On all the F1 calendar as well. It's absolutely splendid. It's spectacular. It is beautiful. It is hot. And can be very sticky. Enough about me. Let's get on with the track, shall we? It is Singapore, and it is here in Marina Bay, one of the toughest challenges on all the Formula One calendar. I would say that this is probably was. I would say Malaysia is probably one of the hardest races of the year, and then this was close second there back in the 2017 calendar. But this season, well, for the last couple of seasons, I would say this is the hardest race on all of the Formula One calendar, in my humble opinion. Well, apart from Monaco, I don't like Monaco. Well, I don't like Monaco, do I? Well, no, a lot of other people do like Monaco, but yes, I'm not a fan of the I'm not a fan of the old street circuits, Ed. I prefer the more traditional race circuits, Ed. Let's go through the drivers and the constructors, shall we then, whilst we're just waiting for the other drivers to get in then. 23 turns head around this circuit and 5 kilometres long. This one is, as we already mentioned in the build-up, it's a hot and sticky one. Remember last night the race was over an hour long, wasn't it? And we only had one safety car? No, we didn't. We had more than one safety car. We had a couple of safety cars, didn't we? It was a long one. This is an endurance test. This is the closest we're going to get into Formula 1 for endurance. My goodness me, it is going to be very much so. I got a really itchy foot, which is really annoying me at the moment. Hang on a minute. Oh, much better. Go for the driver, shall we? And this is how the state of play is. 103 points separates young Tommy and Fangio at the moment. Now, young Tommy cannot win the championship here tonight. I hazard a guess that we've got 7 more rounds to go. Hang on, let me get my maths out. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175. There's still about 175 plus the fast lap points. So yes, young Tommy cannot win it here tonight. However, I think the earliest that we mentioned that he could win it, I think was in USA, wasn't it? If we got our calculations right 2 weeks ago. So yeah. But at the moment, young Tommy, 103 points in front of Fangio is second, and Dylan in third at the moment. Those top 3 are currently getting promoted into gold at the moment. They're looking strong indeed. However, Immortal is a man on fine form, isn't he, though? As he is only 19 points away from Dylan as well. Dylan's incredible season is starting to really unravel in the set in the middle part here, isn't it? Wilson in at 5th position, very much not very good qualifier, but an epic racer, isn't he? Fantastic stuff indeed. Then 6th position is Viton. He's dropped down a couple positions as of late then. And here's our Farfen, who is in at 7th position. 8th position is FIFA Beef with Gordo in 9th, and Cirrus Mushroom and Maldonado completes the top 10 then. And also, they're all on 43 points. Golly gosh, then in the relegation zone, we have Steve on 6 points, 12 points for Reflections, and Markey on 18, which I think that Markey's actually left his station as the Aston Martin driver, has he? I don't think he has. If he has, then I apologise profusely, because I think I've got that wrong. In the Constructors' Championship, AlphaTauri leads by 92 points from the Mercedes in second. And Williams are 97 points lagging behind the Mercedes in third. Alpine in 4th position. Good season so far for the Alpine. McLaren in 5th and 4 points in front of the Haas team in 6th. A massive 40-point deficit between the Haas and Alfa Romeo, 6th and 7th. Red Bull are 6 points behind the Alfa Romeo. Ferrari is a point behind the Red Bull team. Aston Martin is bringing up the rear in 10th position. And indeed, and oh, I'm taking off these new socks. I got these lovely new socks that work bought us the other day, as they were having a bit of a pun session, a bit like what we normally do on Tuesdays. But yeah, they were saying work your socks off, and then yeah, and they bought us all socks in. But my goodness me, I got real bad itchy feet from them, and so I think that they've put something in it, which is making me very itchy indeed. Let's go to the comments, shall we? You don't want to hear about my feet itching. We want to hear what your opinions are on this Grand Prix. I am expecting a long one here tonight as well. Good job that I've got me Banana next to me to really keep me in fine trim. Gordo, hello, good evening, Gordo. Senna, hello. Broke Gorilla, good evening, Sean. Hello from Tess and Todd. Good evening, Todd and Tess. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Paige, evening. Good evening, Paige and Senna. Hello, Paige. We got Sam saying good luck, Silvers, and hello, Sean. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, Sam. I hope you're doing a great day as well. Yes, of course, Sam, a former ALR driver, and of course he's a reserve now now as well. And Senna's going, wet race? No! Gordo, wet race. Wilson, wet race again. Goodness me. Is Page saying good luck, Senna as well. And yeah, full wet race then. It's all wet race. Oh my goodness me. So that's just going to extend the action here tonight then. So goodness me. I expect then at least an hour-long race then without safety cars then. Even from Dylan as well. So good. I cannot race because I'm on PlayStation 5 then. And that is a huge problem there for Dylan. And a huge problem for AlphaTauri as well. And Dylan's chance of maybe getting into gold for next season. So he is going to be disgraced. He's going to be absolutely gutted by that one. And that is such a shame. On board with the Alfa Romeo Siege who had a bit of a difficult race last night, didn't he? So just watching Marski coming down the Raffles Boulevard here in Singapore. Let's have a quick trip down memory lane, shall we, here in Singapore. And this is Silver's fourth race, I think, here in the beautiful part of the world. It is indeed that Troy was absolutely dominant last season. The only thing he didn't get was fast as that, which was held by Cirrus Mushroom. So Cirrus Mushroom really steering Troy's thunder, and I think that's when Troy just went on absolute blitz of Grand Prix wins. Of course, I think he won Japan, USA, Mexico, and Brazil for Troy. Absolutely dominating, wasn't he? Season before that, it was the champion from that season, German, who won in Singapore in season 2 there. And in season 1, it was Glock who won this race. And so whoever wins the Singapore Grand Prix in silver usually goes on to win the World Championship then. Is that a spoiler alert for tonight then? That Ferrari, I thought was well in the way then. Of course, that was just a track. That was just a camera angle there. Do you remember way back in the early 2000s where whoever won the Interlagos Grand Prix used to go on and win the championship? It was a good omen for a very long time, wasn't it? Of course, 2000 Schumacher won Brazil, 99 Hakkinen won Brazil, 98 Hakkinen won Brazil, 97 Jacques Villeneuve won Brazil, 96 Damon Hill won Brazil, 95 Schumacher, 94 Schumacher, and so on and so forth. So it's a really good. It was really good. It was really interesting indeed. And of course, that record was broken because my beloved David Coulthard broke that record in 2001 with one of his best races of his career, in my humble opinion. That incredible Grand Prix from the dry to the wet session, wasn't it, in Brazil in 2001? Of course, where he did a very much a Hakkinen-esque maneuver down into the center S there, where Tarso, Marquez, and Minardi was in between Schumacher and Coulthard there. And of course, Coulthard beat Schumacher in the wet as well. Of course, Schumacher was known as the rain master back then, wasn't he? And yes, talking of wet races, we have a long wet race here tonight as well. And I have been told by my sources in the comment section that it is going to be raining for a lot of this evening. So that is going to get very interesting indeed. Marcy goes fast on the 38.686 then to start us on the way. Ferrari in the background now. I didn't see that was 86, and I think that might be is that Reflections? It might be actually. Almost 2 seconds quicker. Sieges, and he is second in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, in place then for Steve, who is not here tonight, unfortunately. We've got Senna, who's gone second fast in the Alpine car. Good 70 for Senna. The Mercedes, who's just starting his lap in the background. Senna, unfortunately, is in Barbados up there, so that's not good at all, is it? I'm just taking a look for Bradfield, as someone has snuck in. Bradfield has snuck back in the pits. We're on 20 cars now. Good stuff then. It's great to have a full grid. Reflections is out of qualifying. Reflections is out of... Oh, he's gone into the wall at turn 8 there. And Reflections then is the first driver to hit the Armco barrier. And oh dear, the Ferrari driver is down in 19th position here tonight then. So that is it. He is done and dusted in this qualifying session. And that is a shame indeed. Fangio, who's second in the World Championship, is very much coming on strong, isn't he, in the later stages of this World Championship, isn't he? Fangio is there, of course. Who is the race to get promotion to gold? It's the race to be the World Champion of silver as well. Of course, we've had 3 legendary champions in silver so far in ALR's second division, so to speak. Then, of course, they are Glock, who won in season 1. Then Bradfield's out the race, out qualifying as well. Technical gremlins for the Red Bull driver. We've got Vitolich, who's got him in the 4th fast as well. Walsh Maranado, who's got him in the 3rd in the Aston Martin. Lovely stuff indeed. That we have just watching Fangio just going underneath the grandstands. Right, hang on, let me stretch out my leg. Ooh, gosh, I'm getting old. as that was very clickety-click. Into turn 22 and 23 then, out of the final turn, and Vander's gone wild wide then, and that he's also used up a set of soft tires, and how crucial is that going to be in the race then? Yesterday, I don't think the soft tires was was the pick of the bunch, was it? But of course, with the late safety car towards him, we did have a couple of drivers going onto the red marked soft tires, and on board with Immortal, who's full fast runner. He is the who's full for the World Championship. He is on fine Vettel at the moment, isn't he? Immortal is there, and at the moment there he is out of the top 4 drivers. I think he is on the strongest form as well. And I love the helmet it's on, by the way, from Immortal. Top notch indeed. Then he's invalidated his first out. This is his second time on the board. Then row 10 has already been decided. Then Bradfield 20th, Reflections 19th. Bradfield technical issue in the pit lane by the sounds of things, and Reflections out of qualifying as well. Serious Mushroom is also bowed out in qualifying one as well, unfortunately, so we're losing. Well, if no one could, if Diashley, Florin or Immortal don't get a time on the board, then yeah, maybe we'll have 6 cars out, not 5. Let me go back to the comments as well. Unfortunately, Dylan's got the blue light of death. It used to be the red ring of death, didn't it, on the old Xbox? On the old Xbox years there. Of course, I did used to be an Xbox fanboy. I'm so sorry to anyone that I offended with that comment now. As yes, indeed, then that was when I was young, dumb, and yes, with a big tum. That's exactly what I want, and I still have got a big tum, to be honest. So there we go. I would go to the gym, but unfortunately there's no vending machines in the gym that gives you nice chocolate bars. I'm also going under the grandstand as well. We have got Sir Tommy Evening wet race as well. Good memories. Troy is, I think Troy just talking about is incredible. Oh dear, then, and oh goodness me, and Wilson, and what was fast as said, Wilson has been disqualified. Then it's a very narrow pit lane here, and I think he's been disqualified for blocking the pit exit there. I remember there was another driver that blocked pit. I think that one man that comes to mind then when you hear about disqualification and blocking pit exits is of course Arert there, as he got disqualified in the Dutch Grand Prix. I think he did, didn't he, earlier on this season, if I am mistaken, or last season. But that is, well, I said that the back row was sorted, but well, I was wrong, because Wilson and Bradfield now share the back row of the field, where Reflections now promoted up into 18th position there. Immortal got fast, said, whilst we was getting concerned about the issues in the pit entry there, and Fanjo there down the back straight on 2. This is 3 DRS zones around this circuit. He is on the first one then, well, second one technically, isn't he, there, down into the pesky turn 7 there, which gives me nightmares there. Of course, being a big old Lewis Hamilton fanboy there, of course, there's Reflections is forgot to pick up his wheel, unfortunately, there, so it's just kind of just sat idling on the circuit. 2010 there, Webber and Hamilton came to blows in turn 7 there, and then it was Massa and Hamilton in 2011 as well. Lovely shot here as we're just on board, just in front of the cockpit of Fanjo here. Look at this as it goes over the Anderson Bridge, and now on the short bound Raffles at Boulevard, which is also where we had a fan who was on the circuit in 2015, wasn't he? As Sebastian Vettel's radio call was fan on track. There's a fan on track then, which is very unique, isn't it, as well? I think that of course, we've had about three Grand Prix with fans on track, haven't we? Of course, 2003 British Grand Prix when there was a guy in, I think he was like in some kind of kilt or something, wasn't he? That was scary indeed. Then I think that's the most scariest I have seen a fan on the track. Then of course running down the hangar straight, wasn't he, towards the cars. We also had the 2000 Grand Prix in Germany, which also hurt David Coulthard badly on that day, unfortunately. And of course, that was also Barrichello's first Grand Prix win in his Formula 1 career in the Ferrari. Of course, I think that was a disgruntled Mercedes fan, Mercedes employee, wasn't it? Gordo across the line, and he goes 7 fastest in the Ferrari. Gordo was absolutely sensational, wasn't he? Last time out in Russia. I was going to say last week. Of course, we've had a week break, haven't we? Here's the championship leader, young Tommy there. I think he would not like that break there, because young Tommy, of course, the most recent Grand Prix winner in Airlada. He has now got 3 Grand Prix wins to his name, and he's been very impressive, young Tommy. So we're just watching his teammate at the moment, which is Connects, who's down into turn 7 now. Young Tommy there is down at Raffles at Boulevard as well. Let me quickly catch up with the comments, shall we? Here comes the rain again. Serious Russian saying it's going to be wetter than an otter's pocket then. Oh my god, is that Diashi in the McLaren then? Yes, indeed it is. And good to see you got flashbacks out don't we? As Diashi was in the McLaren for the Bronze League, wasn't he, before he had to bow out and become a reserve again, unfortunately. Yes, I'm not sure what Ayrton does with his teammates at the moment, but he seems to have a lot of teammates, doesn't he? Ayrton does. But hopefully him and young Tommy does four fastest. I hope him and Sir and Silent Shift now have a great end of the season for the McLaren team, the team from Woking. Here comes Connects, and he's only had a handful of Grand Prix starts here, Connects has, but he has been very much cutting the mustard, hasn't he? Connects has in the Alpha Towers. He goes under the into turn 70 as well. Hashtag Tommy for president there from Dylan. Great lap, Gordon's on a great lap, but spun and lost my win now. Unfortunately, we've also lost his wing, sorry then. Diashi, hello Tommy there. Good saying I'm a lucky boy to not lose my tyre there. As Connects goes across the line, he has the length fast at the moment now. Marski is the only driver slower than him at the moment now. We have lost 4 cars already then. We're aiming to lose a 5th one in this one. Farf is not ventured out of the pit lane just yet. Flying across the line, he's invalidated his time in the Aston Martin, so he's going to have another bite at the cherry, isn't he? Florin, as he goes down into turn 1. Whilst we're on board with Florin then, and enjoy the spectacle, which is Florin's out then. Absolutely fantastic. He accelerates away, coming up into turn 5. Something like that, isn't it? Now, I should really know these, should I? But when is a turn not a turn is the question that has been very much on my mind, isn't it? As I get very upset about corner names and all that kind of jazz, which you would think that I haven't got. You'd think I've got something more important in life than that, but never mind. But never mind, I just get really upset about a lot of silly things, don't I then? So I'm quickly catching up with the comments. Goodness gracious me, you are a chatty bunch, isn't it? Very good stuff indeed then. Yes, wouldn't it be crucial at all then? Serious Mushroom also saying not crucial, it is a wet race then. Camera Racer, even Sean, good luck to the silver driver said. We got Serious, do you have a qualifying back? Ooh, Wilson then. No, I chose to start because I hate the play set, so Serious Mushroom not fun then. Spun away for the car to go past and does that then. One race where I actually rather qualify as well, being it wet with no DRS in the race. And so yeah, Wilson is going to be absolutely apoplectic with that. This is now being disqualified on a qualifying lap then, so he's not happy at all about that, is he? Was it in Singapore where there was a big lizard? It was indeed, wasn't there? And I think Verstappen's engineer said face to face with Godzilla. Yes, I think, when was that? Was that 2017 or 18? I think it was 17, wasn't it? Because they didn't have the halos on the car, did they? I think anyway. Oh goodness gracious me. Or was it 2018? Oh, it's really annoying me now, isn't it? If someone can help me out, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Oh, Bahrain, I think it was Singapore, yes. Godzilla. Rain in the race, camera is asking. Yes, indeed, then Florian goes across the line. He invalidated this time, so he's going to have another body cherry. TK is coming down Raffles at Boulevard as well. Oh, it's the guy that's ruined chance of debut point said. Oh, goodness me, then. Oh, we got a bit of needle in the old haystack here, haven't we? Lovely stuff indeed, then. So Paul is also in the comments as well. Farf has gone high. Hello, Farf. It's good stuff indeed, then. He's also got a spanner next to his name as well. I'm not sure if that's apt or not. Then I think Farf is. I'm not sure. I think Farf's. Was he injured or something? Someone injured themselves as Gordo was trying out the intermediate tires. Very real, man. So yeah, I can't remember if it's Farf now or not. I really should pay more attention. However, I do have an excuse because I think I'm on my 8th day of working in the rail at the moment, so I am pretty much. I am very struggling. As soon as when we go off air tonight, then I am going to be. Going to sleep, I think then. Let's socialise in more qualifying Farf lad. Indeed. Because Farf has only got 2 minutes or 120 seconds to get himself out of the pit lane. And he has finally emerged out of the pit lane. There he is. So he's gone over the white line there. But let's pretend that didn't happen, shall we? TK has gone 9th fastest there. Jake the Slayer going 4 laps over. We're going to stick with Florin at the moment now. I was just making sure that Florin hadn't got the full-time Aston Martin. And I just checked the driver lineup for Silver. He hasn't. And I think that it's still Marski's, albeit so we're just now, unfortunately Marski not here today. Marski hasn't scored a point since that famous podium back in the British Grand Prix. Unfortunately, several races to go, which is such a shame, isn't it? Oh, we've got 2 thumbs down there, that's a shame. And of course, if your feedback is very much appreciated. Florian is fantastically in 8th position there, because indeed that, of course, if there's something you don't like about the stream or whatnot, just give us a bell kind of thing there, because we do listen. We like to listen to people, and also hit the subscribe button, like, share, and subscribe. gosh, I'm getting very good at this old YouTube thing, hasn't it? It's only taken me about 2.5 years, but I got there in the end, didn't I? Well, I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I'm alright at it, I must say. Just watching Jake Slayer, who's a much better driver than I am, streamer or broadcaster or commentator. Here he is then at the moment. He is in turn 17. That 17 turn is, of course, infamous for when Nelson Piquet Jr. Decided to crash on purpose and bring out the safety car, and that helped Alonso win the Singapore Grand Prix, the first ever Singapore Grand Prix as well. Potentially, did that lose Master of the World Championship then? Potentially, if buts and maybe then. As Slayer goes across the line, he's 15 fast. He's the slowest time runner so far. Farf is still on an out-up moment, so Farf has just got to get a move on in the Haas car. Diashi is feeling a bit concerned. He's 6/10 of a second up then, so this is looking a much better time here from Diashi. Oh, I got a LinkedIn request saying, goodness gracious me, then let's ignore that for the minute then, because I'm not in my professional status. Diashi then, lovely helmet by the way from Diashi, fantastic stuff indeed then. Turn 22, turn 23, nailed it, across the line, full fast there from Diashi. Of course, Diashi is a very quick customer indeed in ALR, isn't he? Absolutely superb stuff indeed there. Car 41, mega Slayer there, who is just on turn 9, I think he is on the course set, coming down in what used to be the Singapore Sling, which is no longer the Singapore Sling, and I want I'm really going to start a fund me page to get that Singapore Sling back then. I probably won't, because I'm a bit too lazy for that. And we haven't seen him Nude Potato, have we? But he's in third position. He's done a good job there. Really, very much flown under the radar, hasn't he, Nude Potato has? And I think Slayer just clouted the barrier. Did he? I don't think he's damaged that Red Bull. Of course, the Red Bull's got a white livery, hasn't it, for the next couple of weeks or so, as of course tribute there to their Honda partnership, which has very much been a success story. Farf is not having a successful story here tonight though. He's gone on the Anderson Bridge. He is out of qualifying, unfortunately, so Farf is down in 16th position. That's both Haas cars out of qualifying, and that is not what Farf wanted, is it? And I think I may have stayed Slayers of Bacon here. So Farf down in 16th position there and out of qualifying for Farf there, and that is such a shame indeed, isn't there? And I think that he may have to listen to Serious Mushroom's request there. Of course, Serious Mushroom, the team leader of the Haas cars. I think he's a self-proclaimed team leader of the Haas team. But I think that the Farf does need to listen to his team leader, because Serious Mushroom said it was less socialising, more F1, and unfortunately that's not been the case at all. Me sending the comments out saying good luck to Silver. Farf doing a couple of lovely donuts there, and that reminds me, I've got some jam donuts on the side, which I'm probably going to absolutely destroy later on tonight, which is never good, because you shouldn't eat before bedtime, ladies and gentlemen, because it'll give you nightmares. Or is that cheese? I don't know. Farf coming back into the pits then, so Farf is just enjoying himself. I hope all you fans are enjoying yourself, are enjoying the stream as well, as much as Farf is at the moment as he crawls back into the pits. And don't worry, Farf fans, he will be back in a not too distant future, Farf will, for the Grand Prix itself. So do not worry about that, everyone there. So Farf does a lovely donut there, absolutely fantastic stuff indeed there. And I think he just loves the fact he's on the stream, isn't he there? So really good stuff indeed there. Of course, there, if any of you fans out want to get a part of ALR, of course, just go to the website. But remember, if you want to get part of ALR and you want to do some donuts, make sure you do them in the final race of the season, because it's not going to help Farf's gearbox at all, is it there? And that's one thing I would like to do about maybe league racing in the future. It's very cool to maybe have some wear on the league races and stuff, but maybe, but that'll probably be wait on the way. Someone saying, by the way, thanks for the cheering page then. Lovely stuff indeed. Immortal is quickest by 4/10 of a second out of qualifying is Wilson. He got disqualified for parking in the wrong place. As I quoted, you can't park there, sir. Bradfield out of qualifying down in 19th position. Technical problems there for the Red Bull. Reflections having a bit of a problem with the barrier. Unfortunately, he met it, and it ended his qualifying session. Serious pressure in 17th position now. Farf, who invalidated his time there, left it way too late there for Farf, and he is out of qualifying as we proceed into qualifying 2 there. Of course, if any of you of course, we got the old, of course, we got a poll up tonight. And of course, the poll is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? I don't mean the poll for qualifying. I mean the poll to the two. You think it's going to be on pole position then for the Singapore Grand Prix. Hang on, it's disappeared. How do I get it back? There we go. Oh, goodness me. All this technology is absolutely throwing me left to right then. Mortor is currently the favourite then, 55%, and this is not to be fast in qualifying too. This is about pole position then for the Singapore Grand Prix. That is who wins qualifying, of course, then, and who is going to end up on pole position for qualifying 3, of course, then. So Mortor at the moment, 55%. We have got, oh, goodness me, a new potato then on 36%, and then Siege on 9% at the moment. So those are the top. Those are the 3 drivers that it's going. That's what maybe a different driver as well. Of course, if you think it's a different driver, then keep get your comments coming in, ladies and gents. There, it's very. I like the interaction, cracking stuff indeed. Got a wet setup, so probably won't make it into qualifying 3 there. Senna has said the same as well, and then so the difference between a wet and a dry setup. I'll be interested to know what you mean by that, Sarah, because I would like to hear about it. Is it more rear wing? Is it more direct? Is it higher? Is it higher wing angle on the front wing there? Is it more? Do you have a more pointy car in the wet weather sessions? Or do you like the back end to step out a bit more and have a bit of oversteer on the car? Interesting something there. Of course, I'm not a technical bloke or any of that by any stretch of the imagination. So yes, if you could enlighten me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Wrong word, Franjo. I must say though, I think in the modern era in Formula 1 cars that they don't really adjust the wet setups too much. Maybe because we're in Parc Ferme and Formula 1 these days. But I'm wondering if they could lift the Parc Ferme rules for maybe wet races, so we wouldn't have the issue of Spa then. But of course, the other issue of Spa was, of course, that the cars were just aquaplaning as well. There's so much spray. They need to do something to lift the spray up in the air higher, don't they? And maybe also raise the ride height of the cars. I know the wet tires definitely raise the ride height of the car, but I think that more needs to be done on that one, I would say. So Fulham Williams doesn't want to say too much there. Dylan is saying on the pole, as in the boat it is Immortal who is on the pole as well. How's my favourite Ginger tonight? Says I'm not sure if German's on about me or someone else said, but I'm Ginger, so I'll take that. So I'm very well, my good sir. Of course, German is flying high, I think, now from I think German is flying high from last night's performance, by the way. Absolutely superb stuff indeed there from German. I think now he said in his interview after the race that was his best performance in the LR, and I cannot disagree. And remember, he had some superlative performances in silver, but in gold last night to be much quicker than anyone else, even under safety cars, he just didn't look bothered by anything, did he? And not to be bothered by anything in Singapore, whether it's the weather, whether it's these corners, whether it's the barriers, it's just unreal, isn't it? We've already heard about Godzilla also infiltrating Max Verstappen in 2017 in free practice 3, I think it was, or 1, I can't remember which one it was now. Of course it was one of the early ones because it was daylight, wasn't it? And just now on board and 16 watching at 6 likes said, do the mask guys said, why some drivers take medium tires when it's raining. The race camera racer said, I'm not sure, to be honest there, as if it's a full wet race, surely you would probably want to use all the soft tires there. But do they believe the weather radar? Of course some drivers have been caught out for radar watching there, and perhaps then but I think that's really if it's going to be a full wet race, and I wouldn't be surprised to not see any dry tires at all in the race, which may be a shame. I would prefer a half wet, half dry session there. For a moment saying higher wing then, higher ride height, softer suspension, and a roll bar there. Banker lap there, Dylan is saying for camera racer. Very good 70. That's why Dylan is a bronze champion. He is not only thinking, he's not only driving the car, he is thinking as well. Goodness gracious me. And remember that the greats in Formula 1, the likes of Schumacher, the likes of Hamilton, the likes of Senna, Prost was very keen to this, wasn't he? They were very much thinking drivers, weren't they? But Prost was the professor. He was the professor because he was always one step ahead of the game, wasn't he? Fangio goes fastest there by a 36.9 so far to set us on our way. Here's New Potato then. Great to see New Potato back in action as well in the Williams car. He is second fastest at the moment in car number 2. Senna has gone faster still. I gotta say, we should rename this the blue ALR Blue, really should, because we do have a lot of blue cars in action, don't we? Who do very well indeed. Maldonado in the green car, not doing it's into fifth position. One Marsky, sixth fast, Diashi and seventh all on the soft tyres. Kerman across the line as well. We've got a Alpine who's well off circuit there. Senna is gone straight off in turn 5, I think that is there. I think he's just trying to get out of the way then, so I think Senna doing a good job, but he's also inching the car forward there so he doesn't get disqualified, which is very much what you have to do, isn't it? Because Codemasters just really thinks the worst of the drivers sometimes, doesn't it? Which is very unfair. Siege across the line, and Siege also Siege's fastest time as well. Then that'll never get old for me. Siege quickest so far. That Alpha Tari is very wide there and connects his invalidate this lap and the next lap as well, and that is not good at all. His teammate is just behind him as well. Gordo, who is on the just coming up to turn 8, I think it is on the circuit. Indeed, it is turn 8 there for Gordo. We'll leave him to it for a minute because I think that Mortal's coming back in the pits, and I think that we will stick with Gordo because he's the furthest driver around. Then he comes through at the Singapore Sling as well. Serious message saying that, you know, Prince Harry Gurman. Yes, indeed, of course. Yeah, and sort of which then. I'm sorry, I really want to watch the sitcom The Winstons, I think it is. I think it's on all 4 or something. I might dabble into that, but unfortunately, I don't watch much TV. The only thing I really watch on TV is either football, soccer, or Formula 1, really. So there we go. Because yeah, I haven't got the brain capacity to watch all these like series on the road. But I must say, I did enjoy Breaking Bad, and I think that's the most intellectual thing I have ever watched. So really good indeed than Breaking Bad. It's absolutely love it. Hello, Sean. Been feeling ill all weekend, but there is no better medicine than my voice. And thank you very much, and of course, I hope you get better. I hope you're better, or getting better, or getting there. If not, I would suggest getting some COBALT in you, my good sir. Of course, I would suggest the pink stuff. I'm not sure if it's strong enough anymore for us gentlemen these days, is it? But I still love the purple COBALT. Absolutely makes stuff, the best thing ever. Really good stuff. Not as a young Tommy goes at 5th fastest, indeed. Then I'm not sure if that's weird or not, though. I really enjoyed the taste of medicine, but as you get older, the medicine gets more and more horrible, doesn't it, really? So there you go. Search saying get well soon, and camera racer, can you drive tomorrow? I think he's asking out, and hopefully he can. And there's just coming up into, is TK coming into the pits now, as he is abandoning his time. 7 minutes ago in this qualifying 2 session, and currently out of qualifying, mainly because they're on set time so far, is Slayer, TK, connects Florin, and Immortal, who has just emerged out of the pits as well. And so those 5 drivers not set times just yet, but hopefully they'll be back as well. And Joseph ALR is back then, as of course we did have a week off. We're back in action for 1 week only, unfortunately, as we got Mexico this weekend, which I'm really enjoying. I'm not a fan of the track, I got to say, but I always moan about tracks these days, don't I, in Formula 1. They don't make them like they used to, do they? But I'm not a fan of the Mexicans, of Mexico, really. I did prefer the old one myself then back in '92, but never mind. But yeah, of course, then I do love the atmosphere in Mexico. It is probably one of the best, along with the Dutch Grand Prix, which I think is the best atmosphere in the world these days. Monza in Italy, then of course, and the British Grand Prix as well. And so there's so much good atmospheres around Formula 1. Because I think that when Formula 1 is Florin, I think went too wide there and has invalidated his time again. So Florin is now this is 2 laps in a row, and that's going to cost him badly here. And I'm wondering how much fuel is that Aston Martin got on the car. Florin may be out of qualifying here because of 2 mistakes on the consecutive laps out. That's going to cost the Aston Martin dearly, isn't it? So that is not a shame. That is a shame, not a shame then. Definitely. Serious question. COBALT, he's not 5. COBALT is the best medicine for me. I'm sure COBALT went up to 8, didn't it? Well, because then they have the purple stuff, then they have the red horrible stuff. Ooh, I didn't like that red horrible stuff, Ben. Oh my gosh, that brings back awful memories indeed then. Yeah, not a fan of the red stuff, and so yeah, unfortunately, as you get older, you do have to have the more horrible medicine, which is such a shame. A 36.9 on the medium tires, that is insane there, of course, from Siege and Fangio at the moment, both second. Fangio is second in the World Championship. Siege, a super sub here tonight, starting his 4th Grand Prix in ALR Silver. He has been on the podium once there, Siege has there, but and he's also had DNF to his name as well. But when he has finished, he's been 4th or 3rd. Really impressive indeed. That. So as I was saying, get some whiskey down your Ayrton. Serious Russia was saying, yes, indeed, there, or a bit of rum. Then, well, I think rum. I don't like rum anymore. It's very strong indeed, is it? I think that I hope you all don't take the mick out of me, but I'm really into into like fruit cider these days. I really enjoy the old Strongbow dark fruits. Absolutely love it. And what makes it better is that I wake up without any hangover or anything like that. And good stuff indeed. Of course, enough about the old as that Florence into the pits for 5 minutes ago. Goodness me, revving that engine. Goodness gracious me, then Diashi's improved on the first intermediate. Oh, he's clouted the outside barrier there. Diashi, of course, going into a left corner there. He was probably trying to reduce the slip angle of the corner there, try and reduce the turn that he has to do on the McLaren. But in doing so, he's clouted the outside. Fanjo happy, and here he is. He goes into the pit set as well. Serious Russia, milk and magnesium, laugh out loud, bluff, barf. We've also got Gurman saying, I love a Koppenberg. I mean, then good stuff. I do love a Koppenberg as well. Then I think that's usually my second or third. I do like I think it's cherries or something. Good stuff indeed then. But of course, do not drink and drive, and of course that is very much against it. But and don't drink an F1 either, because from my personal point of view, it's not very good, is it really? But having said that, I had a very good race. I didn't spin at all when I had a couple of drinks before racing once, but unfortunately I was really slow. But then I hear some people, some hecklers in the comments there. But what's changed there? And you'll be very right about that one. Here comes Maldonado, and of course I think she had a good start to the season in the Williams team. Unfortunately, it has dropped back slightly. Then RDW, yo G, yo we. Hope you're well today, RDW. Then of course we're going to see RDW in action hopefully tomorrow. Look forward to seeing that. Then of course RDW needs to get some points on the board as well, though, doesn't he, the Haas driver? But of course we can't blame the Haas car, because yes, that Immortal's gone faster still on medium tires again. That is a frighteningly good pace there from the top three. That is immense, mind, to say the very least. And to be 2/10 of a second in front of the Silver's best go qualifier, in my humble opinion, VTOL is absolutely mesmerising indeed. Then Welsh Maldonado has just gone 4/10 of a second quicker so far. Jake Wilson, strawberry and lime. Oh yes, indeed, I love it. Slayer also saying a Koppenberg as well. Then good stuff indeed. There we have got Dylan also saying Koppenberg, strawberry and lime, never beat it. I think I've had strawberry and lime actually. I must admit, I don't really know what I'm drinking after a while. I don't even know what I was drinking before I came on there, but I think it was, oh, it's Pepsi. Goodness me, I didn't even realise I picked that up. New Potato's gone fast, and Maldonado has gone fifth fastest there. 36.99999 recurred there. So goodness me, I hope, of course, ring the emergency services then, because Maldonado is through into qualifying free as it stands at the moment now. Young Tommy out of Singapore sling then. Going over the Anderson Bridge, as we found out last night. Well, before I enlighten you then, TK goes 7 fast. That is not going to be enough, I don't think, for TK. He's going to be looking over his shoulder, I'd say. Young Tommy out on circuit as well. We still got Slayer Connects in Florida, who hasn't set a time just yet. Last night we found out that the Anderson Bridge was named after the architect who opened the bridge in 1912, or was it 10 now? Oh no, I've completely got it wrong now. Of course, we found out that fact there. Courtesy of Curly's father, Curly's dad. Then, of course, Blake and Rachel was watching the comments, watching the stream last night. So, very good stuff indeed there. And I do love snippets like that. So keep them coming in. And that snippet of information will stay with me for a long time. But as you know, that I can only I can take so much information in there because I can't remember what year it's open. I think it was 1910. Young Tommy goes full fastest. Is that safely through? I wouldn't bet my bottom dollar on that then, because this track is a street circuit, and we're going to see the times really ramp up now with just a minute and a half to go in this qualifying. So look at the suspension here, as it is really it's really right in the bumps around here in Singapore. Of course, it's bumpy on a of course it's this track. Then when it's not hosting ALR, it is well, it's just a road, isn't it there? So of course there's going to be bumps. There's going to be manhole covers as well then, or drains in the old UK over here. So where you're going to be running over, of course. Ayrton does like some cowpot and vitamin gummies there. And that's not vitamin gummies you like, Ayrton. Paul the other one. So we're just on board with Connects as well. I don't think I've ever had vitamin gummies. I don't think I've ever even had a vitamin in my life, to be honest. But there we go. Just watching Connects there with Marnard has retired from the session. She's in 6th position. She's in the pits and Connects across the line, and that's a good time for Connects there. Goodness me, he's looking on it like a car bonnet tonight. Good stuff there from Connects there. Siege is out on circuit as well. I would hazard a guess that Siege should be safely through. So we've got V Todd who's down 7th position at the moment. We're just watching Senna who's on an out lap, then Gordo on a quick lap as well. We have got one of the Alpha Romeos just about to finish off his lap. It is Siege at the moment, and here is Siege half a second up in the second intermediate split time. Over the line he comes in. He is fast as said. Of course, the finish line is much further than the start line here. Of course, the finish line has to be in line with the FIA garage, and just in case there's a dead heat. Of course, so we do have technology these days that will probably help about rather than the naked eye. Gordo goes second fast. That's a great time there from Gordo. Very much pulling out the back. Very nicely done indeed. That Diashi is the first of a group of cars here trying to make their way into qualifying too. Diashi is just past the second intermediate split time. We've also got Slayer out there, Florin as well, and Marsky and Senna are all coming around then to finish off their laps. And let's see what we can do. Let's see what these drivers can do then as well. Of course, Morto is 60% then in terms of your favourite for pole position here tonight, and I've got to say you cannot argue against that. However, Siege has really stepped up a notch as well. Tayashi across the line, he is 8th fastest, and V Todd is dropping down towards 1,000 of a second up. V Todd he's really pushing this Mercedes to above and beyond there. 10th in the end there, V Todd, and is that going to be enough? Marsky unfortunately didn't make it through. He's found 6 tenths of a second. He is 13th fastest, so unfortunately there for Marsky. Oh, look at that! That is perfect there from Florin out of turn 21. Absolutely magical stuff. Sebastian Vettel and he goes second fastest. Florin does, and I know that corner alone in 21. That looks committed, didn't it? That is beautiful stuff indeed. The center is out of turn 21 as well. Not as committed as Florin, but let's see how it does on the stopwatch here. Out of the final turn then, and he goes 5th fastest. And that's good indeed then. What about the Red Bull Slayer across the line? He is on a wet setup. He is 13th fastest there, and we know our top 10 in qualifying free. Diashi out of qualifying with V Todd, Slayer, TK down in 14th. He's had a nightmare, and Marsky down in 15th position as well. My golly gosh, said what an end to qualifying too that was. Love that, brilliant. As Ursula is saying, he's eating the souvers at the moment, like they are normal sweets right now. Goodness me. So Sarah's saying, oh, I love smooths. I messed up my lap loads there. Slayer is saying Slayer down in front position there, but he is on the wet setup there, Slayer is, but however, he's in the carbon fibre zone of the starting grid, of course, right in the midfield. That is where the action usually is, isn't it? But Slayer is very much in good stead for the race as well. But unfortunately for Slayer, he does get some minus points from my point of view because he has not customized his helmet there. It is still a default helmet there, which I'm absolutely I've hit the roof. It's terrible. It really is. Right then, let's just take a look at the top 10 then, shall we? Connects is out of qualifying. That is not good, is it? Oh no, and we're going to have a top 9 shootout because I think Connects has come a cropper somewhere. Oh goodness me, that is not good at all, is it? And that is such a shame there. So we're going to have 9 qualifiers for the top 10, not 10. Marsky, TK, Slayer, V Todd, Diashi, and Connects are going to be the drivers that are going to be watching qualifying 3. Unfortunately, that is the grid order from 10th to 15th. That is locked in now. That is signed, sealed, and delivered, as Stevie Wonder would say. Is it Stevie Wonder? Might be. Oh no, I can't remember now. I should really, if I think about these puns, I should really think about following it through as well. We're into qualifying freedom. Thank you all for joining me tonight as well. Very good stuff indeed. That I was a bit downhearted last night. There wasn't very many people watching, but having said that, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, isn't it, Darren? I gotta say, you guys that do always give me all the chit chat in the comments there. I absolutely love it indeed. Keep on coming in, guys. You make my week, especially after the couple of days I've been through. It's been a pretty brutal, to say the very least. That 9 cars in qualifying qualifying free then, and unfortunately I got a top 10 because Connects there is unfortunately connected with something hard potentially and gone into the Armco barrier, which is such a shame. TK, I hate this track. I am so bad that instead of saying yay I'm through, for the moment saying I'm sorry Ginger, I'll make one just for you in the next race. Good stuff indeed, sir. That's what I want to hear. Of course, the most important part about the Formula 1's driver repertoire is their helmet design, which is definitely not the case there. Of course, if you've got Vanjo, who's second in the World Championship, he hasn't done a helmet design, has he? But he's second in the world. And I think that if I had to skill Vanjo, then I probably wouldn't design a helmet either, would I? But that's probably because why he's so good. It's because I'm probably in the custom screen at probably about 2 hours. Tinkering me helmets whilst Vanjo is out on circuit practicing, but maybe he's just got the raw natural talent, which is something that I don't have much talent on unless it's going to the fridge and back in record time. Vanjo, who is just coming down into the Singapore sling as well. Of course, as I mentioned, he's second in the World Championship. He has a chance to extend his championship advantage over himself and Dylan. And can he reel in at Young Tommy? Young Tommy, 103 points in front at the moment. That's a massive points deficit with only 6 rounds to go. We're on round 14 tonight. Then we do go to the land of the rising sun in 2 weeks in Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix. Then we've got 5 races. We have 5 races in 5 weeks to end the season off as well. It's going to be a rapid end, isn't it, to this season in silver, gold, cobalt, and bronze, of course. So Vanjo is now just getting himself started. Then the only driver in the pits moment is Florin, but Florin, it seems to be a one-lap wonder. Oh, Vanjo almost kissing the Armco barrier. At the moment, Immortal is Immortal's the highest for the pole position favourite. Then it's very nip and tuck between Siege and New Potato. It's 3% separating those two so far, and 29 points votes in the comments as well. Great stuff indeed. There, I love your contribution, and I'm loving your opinions as well. Fantastic stuff indeed. I'm not going to put my opinion in because things go awry for whoever I like to, whoever I think's going to do well. So I'm going to keep my opinions to myself, but you guys don't. Keep them coming in, guys. Turn 7, I should say then, as we're on board with Vanjo again, and as he's coming into turn 8, and very dull down there. Schumacher went to the back of Verne very heavily in 2012. Quite frightening incident that was. That we're down into the Singapore sling, which is not the Singapore sling anymore, is it? But I am not angry about that at all. I'm not all that kind of stuff. Actually, I am. I'm really disgraceful about that. Now over the Anderson Bridge, down at Raffles at Boulevard, then coming into turn 15. As Jim Ball is just coming. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Jackie. You look nice. Let's go Gordo as well from Troy. As Gordo had a fantastic end to qualify. Now, talking to Gordo, he is just getting out of the way of I think he's invalidated his time. Gordo has, unfortunately, there from Troy. So that is such a shame. And Vanjo, who is taking a lot of curbs there, as he could have made that car is looking very plant indeed. Those curbs usually do spit you out if you take too much of it, but not for Vanjo's point of view. Over the line he comes in. Vanjo not part of the pole so far, but he's very much been in the fight for pole. He is fast at the moment. New Potato, who is second favourite at the moment, but he is invalidated his time. He's going to have to her by the chair. What about Welsh Maldonado? She's on the wrong part of the circuit then, so I go and have to watch someone else for a minute. Here's Senna across the line. Senna goes second fastest there. We got Mercedes in the background, and Mortal is second fastest by less than 100th of a second, or more than 100th of a second. Young Tommy is in third position at the moment. My golly gosh, and that is ridiculously close in between Vanjo and Immortal then. 35.7, a 35.7 now. It is nip and tuck. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed there. Maldonado out of 22, out of 23 then, accelerated across the line. She is fifth fast on a 36.7 so far for Maldonado. Gordo is invalidated this time, so he's going to have to go around again. The New Potato is just down the back straight there, and it's Vanjo going for a second time run. He's invalidated this time, so that is not going to count, unfortunately. Over the Anderson Bridge. As New Potato then is almost out of battery deployment now. Look at that, the graphic down the bottom of the screen then, of course, 21% so far then. Look at that then. So he has not got a lot of battery left then, New Potato has now. Is that going to distract him then on maybe his quest for the perfect lap here in Singapore? 6 and 3/4 minutes ago then, of course, not the lovely helmet design. That's a cracking helmet design there from the New Potato. It's very much ghoulish indeed, isn't it? And maybe it's a bit of the theme there, of course, as we had Halloween last night, didn't we? Of course, I hope everyone got loads of sweeties and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I got nothing there. But don't worry about that then, as I did get a bag of Haribo for myself to treat myself out for making it through Monday. New Potato out of the final turn, he is third fastest there. I think there's more in the piggy bank as well for New Potato. So New Potato fans, do not worry about that. The first ever bronze world champion, Florian, goes full fastest there on a 36.2, and he's in front of the championship leader. That's a statement of intent. And Siege is in the wall. He is out of qualifying there. He's gone off in turn at 21, and that is him done and dusted there. So Siege, one of the third favourite for pole position here tonight, is out of qualifying. He's down in 8th position, and that is it. So that's such a shame indeed that Maldonado is just surveying the wreckage there. She's almost stopping there, as I think she's probably just seeing seeing the wreckage up close and in person there. I hope she isn't blocking Siege there. Could have been maybe probably giving him a wave there. Unfortunately, Siege is out of qualifying down in 7th position, down 8th position, and Gordo across the line. He is 8th now then on a 36.9. Siege will be 9th then on the grid, unfortunately. TK is asking, can I move to bronze? This is a joke, and the times are so ridiculously quick at the moment, and they look at those times there into the 35s. I don't think I've ever gone to the 36s, so I think that, don't worry about that, TK. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed, isn't it? This paces tonight. Absolutely ridiculous indeed. That talking of ridiculous, we have just had a goal struck off for Wolves then from Huang Li Chan there. There's been a no goal there from for the OVAR officials then. So anyone who's a Wolves fan out there, I'm so sorry. Of course, as the poll has closed then, and it was at 55% then to Immortal, 24% for New Potato, 20% for Siege as well. At the moment, there is none of those three drivers who's on pole position. It is actually Fanjo going for pole position. That would be Fanjo's 4th pole of his career. He is currently on 3 along with Immortal. Both those two have been very quick in qualifying, haven't they? And they're both 2nd and 4th in the championship as it stands at the moment, and really starting to make waves in the championship challenge as well. Fanjo, of course, is 103 points away with only 6 races to go. Then is the championship done and dusted? No, it isn't now. Of course, the championship is never done until it's done now. Remember 2007 now, where Kimi Räikkönen was about 18 points away from Hamilton and Alonso-ish. I can't remember the exact one now. Or was it 17 or 18 now? With 2 rounds to go, remember, and there is only 10 points for a win. So there's 20 points on offer there, and Kimi Räikkönen got it turned around there and won the World Championship, didn't he? So good stuff indeed there. Senna, I may be late to start as I'm having, oh goodness me, it's Senna is the nature calls for Senna. Oh goodness gracious me. But when you gotta go, haven't you? And Fanjo's going now. Let's go on board with Fanjo. Look at that, he's 3/4 of the cars off the circuit. And look at how he attacks turn 1. He is inch perfect into turn 2. Fantastic. Rides the curb out of turn 3. Gets a beautiful projection off of 3 as well. Using outside curb into 5. Oh, kissing the armco barrier. I think he's lost a bit of momentum there. Has he damaged the car? He did go square on then, so it shouldn't damage the suspension, but I wonder if the wing got a bit of damage there. 900s up in the first split time into 7. How crazy is that speed he took into turn 7? That is ridiculous. I must say, I think that I wish I can go that quick there. Absolutely incredible stuff. As Bradfield is, I'm not sure if he's shocked about the times or something else then, as he is just popped up into the comments as well. Welcome, Bradfield. As of course, I've got to be kind to Bradfield as he's not having a good season in terms of the older Premier League season. As it's been pretty hard watching being an Norwich fan this season, but I'm sure that they can and will turn it around then, because I do like Norwich's manager, Mr. I like him so much, I've forgotten his name. 3/10 of second up down Raffles Boulevard is Fanjo. Let's move on quickly before before I embarrass myself more. And here we come then into turn 16 and 17 as well. Then look at how much, look at that then, goodness me, he's always cutting the circuit. There's the fantastic inch perfect accuracy here from Fanjo as well. As we've already mentioned, he's been a revelation in the championship. That this is his 7th start this season, and he's won 6 starts. He's won 3 of them. It's a 50% strike rate for Fanjo. He's been really impressive in silver, and once again, and look at that, he's lowered the benchmark even further. Wow, that is absolutely a mega lap from Fanjo. And is that done and dusted? Maybe. That's not looking good at all, is it? For the rest of his competitors, because I think that might be unbeatable. Young Tommy in 5th position. There we've just seen AC Immortal having a couple of issues. Then Maldonado is not in this. Decided to call it a day, unfortunately, as she is in 7th position now. Just watching young Tommy 2 second up in the first split on Bradfield it is indeed Sean, man. I laugh out loud but don't worry about that then, as I'm sure that the season will turn around. There's always the January window then. It's just going over the Anderson Bridge as well. I'm really bugged about Norwich's manager's name then. It begins with an F, doesn't it? What's it? Is it Folk? I think it's Folk, isn't it? Or something like that, isn't it? Of course, but yeah, I was a big fan of him in the. I think that I'm going down a hole that I need to get out of. I think. Let's watch young Tommy, who is into the 16 and 17 now. Then a lot of curve he's taken there. Young Tommy is now going under the grandstand there, because that's a unique feature of Singapore. It's absolutely lovely stuff indeed there. And now into the final couple of turns for Singapore as well. This is a good lap there for young Tommy. Very impressive indeed. He's 2/10 second up. He should get himself into the 35s here. How much more improvement has he got in that AlphaTauri? Not enough, because he's invalidated his time, young Tommy has, and he's going to be kicking himself. He found 2/10 second, which has got him into a 4th position on the 2nd row of the grid. And that is not dear, oh dear. Yes, it's Daniel Fark there, isn't it? So great stuff indeed. Yes, thank you very much, Wilson. I'm glad that that was not good at all, wasn't it? I'm absolutely ashamed of myself. I call myself a football fan. It's absolutely shocking. And New Potato out the final turn as well. New Potato goes 2nd fastest, and all Williams 1-2 into the pit seconds. Fanjo, I think that is that game set and match there for Fanjo potentially, but this is not Wimbledon. This is Formula 1, and there is still all to play for. And here is Senna across the line. He is 4th fast on a 36.2 here for the Alpine car. Good stuff indeed. Immortal's invalidated this time, and that's it. So Immortal's not going to be on pole position here tonight for the 4th time in his career. It will be Fanjo who's going to be on pole position for the 4th time in his career here tonight. And Fanjo, absolutely fantastic stuff. He's a pretty quick customer, isn't he? Fanjo is as Immortal there, I think, just showing signs of just a bit frustrated there. Young Tommy there crawling back to the pits, and the championship leader then Gordo is facing the wrong way over the Anderson Bridge there. That is not good for Gordo, is it? So he's going to be starting 8th in the Grand Prix, coming up in just a jiffy, isn't it? As Gordo there just trying to get himself out of the way there. There's that Williams there of New Potato there just invalidated something. What about Florin here? As we're just watching Florin, he's going to have a Ferrari facing his way then going over the Anderson Bridge then. I think Florin is the only driver on a lap, but it seems the thing, and Senna's on a lap as well. So Senna is going for another time run then. 2/10 second up, Florin is there. That can get him on the 2nd row of the grid. Senna might be displaced and dropping down into 4th then. 5th and the 3rd row of the grid. Look at how much curb he has taken there for Florin. Incredible stuff indeed. That is, he now goes. Now he goes under the bridge here. The accelerates on the way then. So he's got a couple more corners to go. Then has he? He's got about 5, I think, in total. Goodness gracious me then. Out of turn 21 then. Yellow flag that is fluttering then. And here comes Florin. As he accelerates away. Is this going to be enough for 4th position? It is enough for 4th position by 2/10 second. He has done it. He's on the 2nd row of the grid. Magnificent. Senna, who found 2/10 second in the 2nd split time, but it's all gone pear-shaped there for the Alpine driver, and he's back in the garage. And now he's going to be 5th then on the grid. Then Gordo comes across the line and with a wingless Ferrari. It is Fanjo on pole position there. As Fanjo is not even out on the circuit, is he? But goodness gracious me then. He has done an install again. As he Fanjo, that's his 4th pole position of his career in ALR. Magnificent stuff indeed. Then he's getting a nice CV, isn't he? Fanjo is here in ALR. Magnificent stuff indeed there. France, then in Belgium, then in Dutch Grand Prix, Italy, and now in Singapore as well for the last 4 Grand Prix. He's been on pole position. Pretty magnificent stuff indeed there. Absolutely fantastic there for Fanjo. young Tommy and young Tommy Slayer and Serious Russian saying good luck. All then Senna ran out of fuel. Then Serious Russian, I ran out of talent. Gordo saying I broke my front wing then. And there it is, and that is the top 9. And here in qualifying, of course, we would have had Connect there, but unfortunately he is out of qualifying, which is such a shame then. But as Gordo is also 3 tenths of a second up, that would have put him in at 7th position. I would hazard a guess that in front of Maldonado. Fangio on pole position for the 4th time in his career. It's an all Williams front row. Goodness me, it's a flashback to Bahrain when we first started, when it was Welsh Maldonado in New Potato. But it is the Williams on all concrete on the front row. And Immortal in 3rd position with Florin in 4th, then Senna 5th with young Tommy in 6th. Maldonado in take 7th, with Gordo 8th, and Siege in 9th position. Connects completes the top 10. Let's go racing then for Singapore. I'm just taking a breath because I know that we're going to be on air for at least an hour, maybe more then. So I'm going to make sure that I've got a very comfy cushion, as I don't want my posterior to get numb. Then, oh my goodness me! And it's not just a sprinkling of rain; it is an absolute deluge out there. Look, there's puddles in the pit lane here. Wet tires are surely going to be on the cars. I can see it in the pit lane now. There's surely going to be wet tires for all the cars out there. Oh my golly gosh! Then it is an absolute oh goodness me, it's going to be a nightmare. So that the drivers are going to be tested to the limit there. I know their talent and skill is going to be absolute. It's going to be measured up tonight, isn't it? There. Oh my goodness me, there's no good. Drivers are not going to be driving within themselves in this one tonight. And the race is about to begin. Then here in Singapore, this is round 14 of the World Championship, of course. And this could be crucial indeed. That young Tommy does have a advantage at the moment, doesn't he? It's all wet weather tires then for every single driver. So it's the 4 wet weather tires then. So it is the groove tires then is going to have to disperse the water there, and it is so wet out there that there's no spray at all, is there? Which really annoys me, but there we go. But it's only this game's only been out since July, so you'd have thought that the spray would be around right now, but it's not, is it? Right, let's go for the grid show from front to back. Then 20 cars on this circuit then, and look at how misty that is down there. My goodness me! And of course, we got Mercedes in second mode. And New Potato has not got off the grid very well, has he? Look at that. That is absolute. It is quite heavy down there in turn 7, isn't it? Diashi's been disqualified there, as he looks like he's been left on the grid. Let's go through the grid show. 31 laps around this race. Look at how wet it is out there. Goodness me, there's puddles all over there. That is what the wet weather tires are for, and they have to disperse those puddles, doesn't they? There is the predicted pit stop strategy. Technically, you can go all the way through the race without pitting, because there's no rules when you drive on the wet tires to come to pits. And so potentially, is anyone going to do a no-stop race? I don't think it's going to be I think track position is king around here, but I think that you would definitely need to pit, wouldn't you? These conditions are absolutely horrific, aren't they? Fangio pole position for the 4th time in his career in the Williams. He's fantastic, isn't he? Alongside him is New Potato, he is second. Then 3rd position is Immortal, who's dropping down the order at the moment. There's surprise for the Mercedes. Hopefully that doesn't follow him into the race. Car 42 of Florin in 4th position. Senna is in 5th position. 6th position is young Tommy, the championship leader. Slightly further back at the moment there, but he's got a 103-point lead at the moment there, and that may help him. It was Florin and Senna went into each other on the formation lap. Welsh Maldonado in 7th position there. 8th position is Gordo. 9th is Siege with Connects in 10th position. It's getting very close here in turn 15 now. Diashi in 11th position there. He hasn't got off the grid. There's some issues there for Diashi. V Todd in 12th position there. 13th position is Slayer. 14th position is TK. 15th is Marsky, who's got no front wing apparently, according to that shot. So Marsky has already lost the front nose cone. So no, goodness me, look, there he is. Oh my golly gosh, how has he done that? I think that the Alfa Romeo team might have to put a nose cone on there. Farf in 16th position. Serious Russian in 17th. 18th is Reflections. 19th is Bradfield. 20th position is Wilson. 20 cars. J-Dog, evening all. Good evening, J-Dog then. And look at this, and this is absolute horrific, isn't it? And the skies have opened here in Marina Bay, and the drivers are going to be lining up the grid now, preparing themselves for the start of round 14 of Silver. Of course, there is still 6 races to go. Then the championship is not all done. As we said, young Tommy does have quite a nice gap at the moment now, 103 points over Dylan and Fangio. Alpha Tara got a 92 points lead over the rest of the constructors as well. So it's not, so it's quite plain sailing at the moment, but there's still all to play for, as Wilson then, who was disqualified for parking in a very peculiar place in qualifying. I'm on the wrong car. Here we go then, and when we're going in, the revs are on. It's a drive-through penalty for man in position 4. It's Florin who's got a drive-through penalty, and it's lights out, and away we go. Immortal's already got past, and it's a terrible start from New Potato. He's dropped down into third, and luckily it's a short run down into turn 1, because otherwise he may have been all at sea, pun intended here. Oh my goodness me, then, as there's cars are fighting all over the show here, and here's Welshmore on the yellow flag in one. There's a Mercedes off in the background. It's V-Todd. V-Todd is off, but that's a car. Marsky and Diashi's also got the blows as well. Oh dear. And yes, and Marsky then, he's got no wing at all, then, so that's another Alfa Romeo with no wing. Florin dropping down the order. There's some problems there for Florin, isn't there? What a shame then. And look at this, and he's dropping down the order. Florin is, and he's in major peril. He's got a drive-through penalty, and I think that there's some technical gremlins that's gone wrong in the Aston Martin car, and he is limping at the moment. Florin is there. What a shame. Just back at the front then, Fanjo's got the perfect lead. He's got the perfect start, and already the perfect lead as well. He's a second in front. DRS is not going to be available until we get a driest track. Whether we get a driest track or not, I do not know. This is going to be a tough one indeed. We're back on board with Siege at the moment, who's apparently a lap behind Connects, and who's up in his 7th position. Good stuff indeed for Connects. He's up 3 positions. Florence down 9 positions there. So it's and Farf is up 7 positions. Goodness me, Farf has taken off absolutely splendidly well here. Connects at the moment all over the back of Maldonado as we go down into Raffles at Boulevard as well, and Senna just in front of us at the moment. Now Senna is so current complete lap 1. This is going to be a tough circuit indeed, since we're touching 2 minutes around these laps so far. As we said, it's going to be an endurance race as well, and with a full wet race, the pace is not going to be as quick, is it? That's what we normally see that on board now with we're connected on, and it's goodness me that. And look at the spray coming off of the back of Maldonado and the rest of the cars in front. It's absolute difficulty to see. It's Farf has got a 3-second penalty. Irvine said evening, good luck Silver. Farf has got a 3-second penalty. I'm not sure if that's the second one. The final turn, and now we've got Siege who is now really starting to find those tires, and as Florin in the pits, and unfortunately on a drive for penalty. We got Vitot, Diashi and Marsky in the pits as well after they have sustained damage on the opening lap here in Singapore, but I'm feeling that's not been too bad of a lap then. Vitot has not got damage. I apologise profusely for Vitot then. Accused him of something. This is not wrong with the car, but Diashi is in the pits. Irvine is saying good luck to Silver, and J-Dog, come on Haas team. Of course, as he is a bigger fan of Serious Mushing. Connect has dropped down the order here, and indeed he has the yellow flags in one end. TK is off the circuit, and Young Tommy is up in the 3rd position. It's a virtual safety car. And goodness me, Young Tommy up in the 3rd, and he qualified 6th on the grid, but he's a much better racer, isn't he? And safety car, that's a safety car then for TK, as TK has gone off at the bottom of the straight here in turn 7, and TK unfortunately out of the Grand Prix, out of the race then, and that is a blow indeed. And so safety car, as TK's car has been quickly recovered here, so that's very good by the Singapore marshals, and perhaps we didn't need a safety car at all then. So Fanjo's lead has been wiped out within a twinkling of an eye then, which means that Immortal and Young Tommy is now going to be on his rear posterior. New Potato is dropped down to 4th, and he's had a bit of a nightmare start here in Singapore. New Potato is struggling for pace, and Smithy Almighty is saying Farf is going for driver of the day. Of course, driver of the day, you get driver of the day if you vote for your favourite driver. Of course, well, it's not a popularity contest, is it? If you vote for the driver who you deserve to be driver of the day, then of course German called it yesterday, and of course the poll will be up 5 laps before the end then, where you get to choose who you think has been deserving of the driver of the day. Hopefully we don't have to get it to Burnt Mylander then, so hopefully this will be a one-off appearance for Burnt Mylander, and we'll be back in action. And so TK is the first retirement in this race, and everyone is still on the wet tyres, and I don't think anyone is going to go on to the intermediate tyres just yet. It's surely too wet out there, isn't it? So look at that, the rain is coming down in steroids at the moment. It's raining cats and dogs out there, isn't it? Oh my golly gosh. At the moment, and so there's a come across the line, and we've got New Potato, who is in the pits. So is there damage on the Williams? Is that why New Potato is struggling? The man who is on the front row of the grid there. New Potato's had the most run of luck this season. The first ever bronze world champion in ALR, just not as on a bit of a nightmare. Ferrari mechanics are in the pits as well as for Gordo, and we've also got Wilson in the pits. Oh, there's no nose cone on the Williams car, so he's gone off somewhere. And New Potato then is just changing the nose cone as well. Gordo is also changed the nose cone. Is Wilson there? I think is going in for fresh wet tyres, and he is indeed dead. So yes, so that is a strategy call then. But it's Gordo. Gordo's out in front, and that's a dangerous manoeuvre coming out of the pits then. Oh my goodness me. And as just coming out of the pit lane as well, just to the comment in the chat there, as Watchman has just said that someone needs to have a word with the designer of this pit exit. It's horrendous. I think some of us are having it qualify now. Troy, does anyone have the guts to do a Jarno Opmeer then? I'm not sure what Arno Opmeer did then. The only Jarno I know in my life is Jarno Trilli then. Of course, one of the best F1 qualifiers in history. Technically, he's in the top 10 of Grand Prix of best drivers of all time. Whereas, according to the stats and figures from that Amazon place, wasn't it? The AWS set, along with Heikki Kovalainen. Wilson is just someone's gone a bit wrong for Wilson. Unfortunately, down 17th position. As I think he might be unhappy with Ferrari's with Ferrari letting Gordo out in front of him now. As it was quite tight. I think that might be an unsafe release potentially for Gordo, but of course that don't happen, does it? Which is a shame. Look at the mist on this circuit. I'm just I was just watching. I think one of the Marski coming down the pit straight on the stream there from quite a while ago. And it is so misty out there. So Troy is saying started on the intermediate tyres because everyone else is on the wet tyres. Well, at the moment no one is starting on the intermediate tyres, but yes, that's a very good point now. If anyone does come into the pits, then are they going to go on to the intermediate tyres? Is it worth going for it then? Of course, the intermediate tyres are quicker, but there's so much standing water out there. It is going to be tough to do, isn't it? And of course, remember Schumacher back in the Malaysian Grand Prix of 2001 was on the intermediate tyres, was everyone else on the wet tyres there, but that is a kind of a different day because there's a tyre war going on back then, where the Bridgestone intermediate tyre was quite superior compared to the Michelin intermediate tyre, so that might have had something to do with it, or it was Michael Schumacher's prowess, wasn't it? I reckon it was Schumacher's prowess as well as Bridgestone's ingenious intermediate tyre. But I think that Schumacher was absolutely superb on that day, wasn't it? Because everyone else was on the wet wear tyres, wasn't it? Of course, Coulthard on the intermediate tyres in Brazil, along with Schumacher. Of course, that day Coulthard did win in Brazil, didn't he? Troy saying he ended up winning the race as well from 14th on the grid on the intermediate tyres there. We also got full modes and take P9 after all that. Then, of course, Slayer up to 9 position. Let's just take a quick look to see who's done what so far. Reflections up 8 positions there. Serious Russian at 6. Bradfield up 7 as well. Favre has done the best start so far. He is up 9 positions. Favre is the starter of the race so far. Goodness me. Oh gosh, I'm running out of breath already. Oh, goodness me, I'm going to have to get hit the old gym later on. And what a joke! I'm never going to do that. Oh, Wolves 2-0 up against Everton. Fantastic 17th there. As goodness gracious me, I've just seen that Antonio Conte is expected to finalise deals to become Tottenham head coach. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect that at all. My goodness me. Well, that's a coup for Tottenham, isn't it? Fantastic. I didn't expect that. Anyone who's Spurs fans out there, I was quite surprised they hired Nuno in the first place. No disrespect to him, he did a fantastic job at Wolves, but I just didn't think he was. I just didn't think that he had the. I just didn't think he'd be able to take Tottenham places. So yeah, unfortunately that's been the case. And it's a shame really, because I do like Nuno, and it's a shame he left Wolves because I think he did a superb job at Wolves. And anyway, enough of the old chat in the football world. I was just surprised to see that on the old app there. I hope goodness gracious me. We're on lap 4 of this race then. The safety car is in there. The lights have gone off, and look at that. And look how murky it's not. Yes, I know it's night time. Goodness gracious me, it is dark during the night there. But look at that, and it is also a combination of the wet as well. It's absolutely horrific here at the moment, isn't it? So the drivers have done superbly well. Just the last 4 laps around here. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Look at those raindrops that are streaming down the camera lens at the moment, and we can see a lot more than what the drivers can on those camera lenses as well, of course. But my goodness gracious me, then it is absolutely tough. It is tough, isn't it? These drivers are tough as nails, and when is Fangio going to drop the hammer? Then when is he going to get going for the start of the Grand Prix? see then, so Fanjo is not gone just yet. I think last night Gurman went quite early, didn't he? But let's see what Fanjo does then. As you can see, a lovely shot here. I love that shot, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely a pristine shot indeed, isn't it? And now the final turn then. And when's he going? I think he is gone. He has gone. We're back racing here in Singapore then. So we're on lap 5 of the race then. And who is under pressure then? Well, young Tommy, there's a car in the wall. It is Farf in the wall. And he is out of the race then. And that is not good at all. And Farfam, who had a superb start, is out of the race. Look at his Haas car. It's damaged on the start line. And that is such a shame now for Farf. His teammate Sirius Rusher was having a 10th position mode. Look at him hacksawing away. And Farf is out of the Grand Prix. Here is Connect set it up into 7th position now. Oh my goodness me. Again with the dislikes then. Good evening everyone as well. And yes, of course, if you do have dislikes, I'd like to hear why you have dislikes then. But I like a bit of constructive feedback. Maybe it's the fact that I was talking about Tottenham. Maybe that they did like the fact that I was giving Nuno a bit of chip then earlier on then. Just on board, J-Dog has gone no, as I think that yes, there's some issues that have gone on then. Unfortunately, far out of the Grand Prix as we got a reflection then, who's just been overtaken by Sirius Rushman on the outside as well. Sirius Rushman looking very keen at the moment, isn't he? He is up into 9th position, and Sirius Rushman is good stuff indeed. What about Bradfield? He's alongside Reflection as well. That's going to be very tight into the Singapore sling then. Of course, that barrier does sneak out, doesn't it? And Bradfield up in 10th position as well. He was up 19th on the grid. That New Potato on the outside of V Todd. That's a great manoeuvre there from V Todd, sorry, from the New Potato. And he is through and up in the 12th position there. A lot of drivers there some drivers are really getting confidence there on the wet wear tires, and one of those new fresh wet wear tires there are starting to really bite into the track surface. Of course, the best way to dry an F1 circuit is by using the F1 cars, and they're the best hoovers in the world, aren't they? These Formula 1 cars, they just fling everything back up into the sky. Farf is not happy, unfortunately, as he is out of the Grand Prix, which is such a shame for Farf because he was quite high up the order. On board Siege at the moment, they're really pushing Welsh Maldonado over just underneath the grandstand as well. And Maldonado is struggling these conditions at the moment, isn't she? As Siege has got quite a quick car underneath him there. Shame about the default helmet there. Fanjo is at the fast lap race, a second and a half already in front of the opposition. Fanjo is looking pretty impressive to say the very least, isn't it? And look at the mist there. The mist is just hanging around the circuit. Far from saying that it started well, but unfortunately it hasn't gone too well. And now look at this up the inside there. That's a great manoeuvre there for the Williams car. Reflection down into 12th position. Unfortunately, Reflection is falling backwards at this stage of proceedings. Florida has just moved itself over the 13th position as well. It's just got past Vitot. Another driver is just dropping down the order. Is Vitot going to have a look on the inside? Not quite. It's unfortunately he's dropped down the order. Vitot and Reflex there seems to be going backwards there. Not sure what's going on with those drivers at the moment. And Maldonado then going very deep into turn 7, but she is okay at the moment. She's fine and dandy then for Fanjo. Oh, sorry, it's Reflex there going very wide there, but he is hanging it out then on the curve there. But Florin on the outside, this is going to get very squeezy. Oh, it is very squeezy, but Florin is through and in 12th position now. He's getting past the Reflections there. Look at that, New Potato is already 2.2 seconds up there. Reflections in major difficulty here, isn't he, at the Florida? Of course, it's all about confidence in this race, isn't it, there? And when it's raining as well, as Diashi's just been overtaken by Marsky as well. Marsky down in 17th position there. Look at the rain, it's going horizontally, isn't it, there, as he's looking over the Anderson Bridge there. Now he got the Red Bull, and right underneath the gearbox, the Haas car down at Raffles and Boulevard there is Bradfield going on. Look, usually get DRS here in the dry, but in the wet there's no such thing as DRS, is there? Favre saying there's always next year. There is always next season indeed then for Favre, as I think the Favre will be spending it in. Oh, contact there down into turn 15, and Vitot is in the wall, and he's damaged the end plate there. We only see the end of that, and I'm not sure what happened there, but Vitot then has damaged the front wing, and he's going to have to make a trip to the pit stop there. That's an unscheduled stop there. Unfortunately, then back at these battle for 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment there. We've got a bit of a queue starting to form behind that Welsh Maldonado, but she's looking quick on the straight, so isn't she? And that is where you need to be quick to overtake. That's the easiest place to overtake, is on the Formula 1 circuit on the straight. Down in someone, but look at that, Maldonado very quick on the straight as well. Good stuff indeed there. We seen her defensive prowess, didn't we, in the Russian Grand Prix 2 weeks ago. She's a very tough customer to overtake, isn't she? So she's not going to just let Siege by, is she? And why should she? She is battling for some decent points, isn't she, in the championship? And she's 10th position at the moment, and she has missed a couple of races there, so that's a very good performance indeed there. Looking forwards and now looking backwards as well, because look, Connects is also having a look at Siege as well, going down into turn turn 7 then. Absolutely horrific scenes here. If you just joined us in the here in the where are we? In the Singapore Grand Prix VTOLs in the pits. It has been an absolute. We've got problems at the front. Oh, and who is that? That's Senna off. Senna is off and into the wall at turn 10 there. And goodness me, is he damaged the car? He has. That's no, he hasn't. I think he's okay. But goodness me, Senna's got off at turn 10. And that is all about lack of concentration, perhaps, for Senna, because I don't think there was any drivers near him. But Senna down in 8th position now as we go over the Anderson Bridge. Not good at all, is it? They're back at a lovely shot. I love this shot, by the way. It's fantastic, isn't it? And look at this. And it's look at Martin just absolutely stretching those legs there on that Williams, on that Alfa, no, on that Aston Martin car, down into Raffles Boulevard as well. She just takes off. Don't you see how the acceleration zone? Pretty impressive indeed. Dan Murphy down, Schnaller, young Tommy Schnaller. Of course, as I am very au fait with me old German there. That means quicker. As I have a very lovely smirk. But so that's the only. I think I know Bleischniefen and Schnaller. That's the only 2 German words I know, really. So that I didn't do very well in German. I think I failed. Oh, I think I was actually put down a set where I didn't need to do an additional language because they realised that was a bit too thick for learning a second language. Out the final turn then, Van Joe, who is still leading by a second and a half. Young Tommy's made a mistake somewhere because Immortal is now a second and a half in front of him as well. Welsh Maldonado is now 4.5 seconds back at the moment from Young Tommy. Siege is still trying to get past her. Look at her as he's pushing her out of turn number 3, I think it is, as we do have a bit of a conga line starting to form now. We got VTOL off then, as I think that, of course, we do see when drivers come into the pits and then they go off, don't they? So I think that might be a bit of frustration. That's the same place where VTOL had issues last lap there. Wilson has got past reflections as well. Has got past reflections and moved up into 13th position. Good stuff indeed. And this battle is starting to get really heated. Then, oh, that's it. That connects us into the back there of Siege there. Oh dear. But Connects there is, I think Connects is going for it. He's having a look there, but Siege closes the door. He has every right to do so, doesn't he? He has track position, but Connects there has really started to put the hammer down. He feels that now is the time to strike with Siege there. We're on lap 8 then. I'm expecting a one stopper around here though. The pit lane is not too long around here, but it's only 60 kilometers an hour, I think, then, isn't it? Because the street circuit is only 60 kilometers an hour. I hazard a guess there, and also old-fashioned circuits as well, I think, or have I just made that up? Siege there, who's still half a second back, and he's just not close enough, is he? Maldonado again, just like in Russia, doing a superlative job there, and of course, Connects is oh my goodness me, and almost slamming the car into the wall. Then good car control indeed. Slayer, who's on the wet weather setup, doing a superb job there. Connects is struggling. I'm wondering if he got damaged off the back of Siege's diffuser when he drove into the back of him not too long ago. Maybe then. And they're just now on board now with Siege, and he's coming out to turn at 21 once again then, and now into the final turn. 2 seconds gap is now. Young Tommy's once again put on a spurt, hasn't he? And he's back in within a second from Mortal across the grid hatches. Look in the background. What is going on here? It's Bradfield having a look at Serious Russia there, but he's a bit too far back at the moment there. With Gordon's got a 3-second penalty. That's the only penalty so far in this race on a wet track, on a completely saturated track. That's absolutely fantastic. Connects is back for having another bite of cherry. Oh goodness me, Connects is so quick under braking, isn't he? I think if he gets past Siege and gets behind Welsh Maldonado, I think Maldonado might be a bit concerned about Siege, about Connects' braking ability. Absolutely fantastic. Both Ferraris there are locking horns there. His reflections is dropped down 2 positions. Reflection unfortunately sinking quite quickly here in the rain of Singapore. So unfortunately Connects is not enjoying these weather conditions whatsoever. I know that is such a shame. Meeson has asked what has happened to Farf. He accelerated out of turn 23 and went into the barrier just at the end of the at the end of the full safety car. Lap 9 of the Grand Prix. Van Joe's gap has gone down to under 2 seconds now. So 1.8 seconds as we go over the Anderson Bridge. Young Tommy still a second back at the moment. There's yo-yoing around at the top there. I'm loving that battle at the top. Great stuff indeed there. But this battle here between 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th, and It's absolutely incredible stuff indeed. And Serious Mushrooms now almost within a second of this battle as well. We're gonna have a Maldonado train here, aren't we? Goodness gracious me! Reflections driving down its own position there. VTOL is in the pits, and again having an absolute nightmare race, isn't he? Unfortunately VTOL is there, but hopefully Serna has got a 3-second penalty. That may cost them later on the race. Lack of penalties really help drivers, don't they? Reflections is out of the Grand Prix, and that is a full safety car then, and who is going to blink then? Is anyone coming into the pits? Track position is king around here, and I'm not sure if it's worth coming in the pits just yet, is it? But, well, just I say that, we got Siege coming into the pits, and also Connects is in the pits as well. Let's see if these fresh wet tires is going to help him out then. But yeah, track position is king, and Reflections out of the Grand Prix. He was really struggling, Reflections wasn't he? He was just going down the order, wasn't he? He was sinking quite quickly. Only 2 drivers in the pits then is the Alfa Romeo Siege and Connects, and they're both on the wet wear tires still. So no one is thinking about Troy. Thinking about Troy's suggestion now and going on to the intermediate tires there. Gordo in the Ferrari in the pits as well then for Gordo. The Ferrari mechanics are ready. Are those intermediate tires out for the Ferrari? No, it's still the full wet tires out for the Scuderia, and he's back out now. So this is good news then for V Todd then. Of course, V Todd, not sure if he's come together himself and Wilson down at the turn 19. No, that's nowhere near. That's turn 15, I should say. So that was turn 15 where unfortunately V Todd and Wilson may have come to blows then. Just down the end of this back straight here, and which is such a shame for V Todd, isn't it? But hopefully this might be able to get him back in the race. Only 3 drivers pitted under the safety car so far, and that is Siege, Connects, and Gordo. Siege has decided to come in the pits and with Maldonado, when he was being held up by Maldonado, and no one else has come in the pits just yet. How long are they going to go? Is these wet tires? Is there tire drop off on the wet wear tires? Well, we'll have to find out. Wilson has I think a minute to the crime, unfortunately, as V-Todd. It looks like they have cut the blows. V-Todd and Wilson has he has just said he's so sorry in the comments there. So V-Todd then, so there was a bit of a come together down to turn 15, unfortunately there. So a bit of a mistake. It's very it's very difficult to have a clean race in wet weather conditions in Singapore. Everyone of course makes mistakes, and if you don't make mistakes, then are you really a racer? Are you really going to the limit? Of course you're not, are you? Of course, even the greats of Schumacher had a huge accident in free practice. Was it 4 or 3 on qualifying Saturday, or maybe Friday in Australia actually? Of course, Schumacher was off quite often. So was Vettel in practice sessions, wasn't they? The Grand Prix weekend, because that was the time to find the limit of the circuit, and then they knew they didn't go back, and they knew they didn't need to make that mistake going forward today. But unfortunately, I think that Wilson may have just understeered into Vittorio, but we'll have to find out later on then. So at the moment is we are down the pit straight as we're down the pit straight as well then, and let's see, as it's 2-0 at the moment at half time, as I quickly get rid of all me comments then. So then, so just now watching Fangio at the moment, who's leading the race there with Mortal in second position. Young Tommy is in third, then Maldonado is fourth, then with Slayer in fifth, Senna in sixth position with Serious Mushroom seventh, Bradfield is in eighth, and New Potato is ninth with Florida in 10th, Wilson in 11th, 12th position is Marsky, Diashi is in 13th, Siege is 14th, Connects is 15th, Gordo is 16th, and there's a problem with Senna and Slayer, and there is a 5-second penalty, and that is not good at all, isn't there, between Slayer and oh goodness me, and of course that is not good at all. Senna has now got an 8-second penalty, 3 seconds there for the corner cut earlier on, and now a 5-second penalty is going into the back of Slayer, so that is not good at all. Just looking down the helicam shot as well. Look at this. This is absolutely appalling scenes indeed. Then here in Singapore, absolutely incredible stuff indeed. Then this wet weather is absolutely atrocious here tonight, isn't it? Goodness gracious me! Then there's a lot of water under the Anderson Bridge. There's also a lot of water on the Anderson Bridge. Then horrific indeed. Then is that of course we got a full wet race. Then it is very of course it is very high probability we're going to have some form of rain as we're very near the equator here in Singapore, aren't we? Of course, so we expect tropical rains and all that kind of stuff. Remember when we first raced here in Singapore back in 2008, and there's a lot of concern, wasn't there, about having rain here, because how would the floodlights stand up in these weather conditions? Well, the answer is they stand up absolutely spectacularly well, don't they? Safety car is still at the moment. This is a prolonged safety car. As a V-top then is just in the back of the one. He's trying to catch up because he was almost a lap back, and with 23 turns around the 5-kilometer circuit, it's a very long one indeed, isn't it? So V-top is just trying to catch up there. So safety car will not be in this time. Hopefully it'll be in at the end of next time, which means that we get more time to really enjoy that beautiful Aston Martin safety car. So far we've got Fanjo, Immortal, Young Tommy, Maldonado, Slayer, Senna, and Cirrus Mushroom, and Bradfield, who have not stopped then in the top 8, and New Potatoes, the highest runner, who has stopped then on 7-lap old wet tyres. Florin hasn't stopped in 10th today. He had a drive-through penalty, didn't he, earlier on in this Grand Prix, and that's why he's a bit out of position so far. The other stoppers then was Wilson and Marsky, Diashi then, and the stoppers on this lap was the stoppers on this safety gun. Look, we got 5-second penalty. I'm not sure what's going on there. Then we just skipped forward. I'm not sure if they was all bunching up behind Florin. And we've also got Wilson in. We've also got Siege Connects, Gordo, and of course Vitor then, who have also come in the pits on this safety car as well then. So yes, we've had a lot of pitters so far, but not too many behind the safety car in terms of strategy calls, I would say. Only 3 drivers I would say for strategy calls, which is Siege, Connect, and Gordo. Vitor, I think, was forced into that, wasn't he, which is such a shame and not good. As Wilson is not happy with that then. It's yes, there's some issues under the safety car, and Wilson and Marsky have got 5-second penalties. That is going to be crucial, I think, in the race going forward. So that is such a shame indeed. We're on board then V-Top then, who's just trying to catch up. He should be caught up with the pack at the end of this lap then, so we'll be back racing on this one on lap 12, and we ain't even at half distance yet. We've been racing for almost 30 minutes in this Grand Prix. It's a long one, as we mentioned tonight, and it's the closer we're going to get to an endurance race in Formula 1, and my word there, it's a tough one indeed, isn't it? So yes indeed, so I'm expecting at least I'm expected at least to be commentating for another half an hour. We will be a bit quicker in the second half of the race, I would hazard a guess, that of course with fuel loads going down, maybe even we might get a dry period then, but there's no but doesn't look like a dry period yet, does it, at this stage of proceedings? Safety cars in the end of the lap then. As the cars just, there seems to be a couple of gaps out that form into the safety cars, and that's where the trouble seems to form. We've had 2 incidents under this safety car period then, which is a bit unfortunate. So we got 4 drivers then with 5-second penalties. Fangio currently leading the race then, and he is taking 10 points out of Young Tommy, which the gap at the championship will be down to 93 points, and that's still a mammoth task, isn't it, for Fangio? Young Tommy's such a good racer, isn't he? Even if he has a disappointing qualifying, he just seems to do so well in the Grand Prix, doesn't he? It's really impressive for Young Tommy. Yes, he went from relegation battle to almost championship hopeful there. It's our version of Leicester City in the Premier League all those years ago. My goodness me, fantastic, isn't it? For Young Tommy, absolutely incredible stuff. As he's just turned his career around, really impressive stuff. Go quiet because we're now waiting for the safety car is in already. So Fangio's going to drop the hammer. He's gone, and we're back racing. And look, Young Tommy's all over the back. Remember, there's a far crashed out at the oh, look at this, Immortal Hound to defend there, and is strongly defend against Young Tommy as well, going down into zone 1. And Cirrus Rush from having a look there, but no, Dice had a setter defending his position quite nice indeed. We're on board with Cirrus Rush now. Connects and Siege who have just come into the pits. Look at this, and Connects is trying to get past Siege there. Siege got damage there. It looks like he's got an end plate missing there. We'll have to find out then off board then. I don't think he has actually. I think I've just see if it's Diashi is lost out there. That's on fresh wet tires. Connects is there, and I think I'm seeing things there because Siege has got no damage at all. A lovely shot from Diashi's McLaren here, and my goodness me, look how close they got. This absolutely supreme driving there from both drivers. Out the outside goes Siege there. Track positions as Diashi's gone wide. That is what fresh tires can do. doing. Gordo's also, and Viton is through as well. Diashi is unfortunately dropping down the order there. Now back on board then with Connector. Oh, giving Marsky a touch there, more than a touch there, a tap perhaps then, and all it's into the bar there. Connector's now up in the 12th position. Look at these wet tyres, and these are new wet tyres are absolutely doing miracles out there at the moment. Look, and what is Marsky there, holding up his teammate here, and look at this, that is, oh my goodness me then, as I think, I'm wondering if there might be Team Wars in the Alfa Romeo garage then, perhaps then, not quite at the moment, not quite then. Alibi, Team Tommy Dillon there with the arrow pointed upwards, who wholeheartedly agrees. And down the back straight as well to Raffles Boulevard. Well, Siege's progression there has kind of stopped then. As we got, we usually have bright umbrellas, don't we, in Europe? But in Singapore, we got dark green umbrellas for some reason. Siege has gone through and into turn 60 now. Good stuff indeed there for Siege. Gordo and Vital is not too far back here on board. Connects as he is now behind Wilson then. As Connects no DRS of course in this race so far. It is too wet for the DRS, isn't it? We may get it if it dries up slightly later on in the race. If it dries up slightly in the race, I should say then, because there's no sign of that at the moment there. Is the gap is 2.5 seconds there. Fanjo doing a German-like performance from last night. German doing fantastically well. Young Tommy feels as now is the time to strike then. Gordo's just got past as Marsky is in the pits, and Marsky is in the pits, and is this a scheduled stop then for the Alfa Romeo driver? Oh, not good at all, unfortunately, is it there for Marsky, and he is in the pits, and he's done 11 up on the wet tyres. I think that he has seen what the fresh wet tyres can do then, perhaps, but with the track position, I think it's still king around here, isn't it? But I'm saying that I go king. Viton is out of the race, and he is out of the race there. Viton, he's had a nightmare race. There's another safety car here, and yes, so that's our third safety car here tonight. And I wonder if now is the time then to come in the pits, and Marsky might have timed this absolute to perfection then, perhaps from Marsky's point of view. So maybe I'm going to ask Marsky for the lorry number, so as he came in the pits just the perfect time perhaps then. And look at how much he's spinning those rear wheels then coming out of the pits then, and a very tight pit exit here, isn't it? Vital having a nightmare race, unfortunately. He's out of the Grand Prix. We're down to 16 runners then in this marathon race so far. Fanjo's going to be a bit frustrated here because he gained. Oh, he's almost 3 seconds. He's almost 2.5 seconds in front. What's these? He was sprinted away once again. Absolutely superb stuff from Fanjo. He is really controlling this race, absolute to perfection. Now he has got a Grand Prix. He's got 3 Grand Prix wins already in his career, and he's going for his 4th here tonight. Then really impressive stuff indeed. Then I don't think he cannot match the. I don't think he can match the. No, he can't. I don't think he could match the incredible performance of Troy last season, because Troy's got the most wins in a silver season with 12, hasn't he? And I don't think Fanjo can match that this season, can he? But my goodness me, he stormed it through. Silver is such a tight group, isn't it? In terms of in terms of the championship, and Fanjo has really come in and stormed it all the way through to promotion spots, and hasn't he? Because he has kept himself out of trouble, whilst other drivers have found trouble, as we've already seen it in this race here tonight. And the likes of Farf and TK into the pits. There comes Fanjo. What is Immortal doing? And this is interesting stuff. So Fanjo is in the pits then, and so he is coming in the pits there. Immortal and young Tommy is staying out then. Is anyone else coming in the pits as well? We've got a Red Bull in the pits there, but not again then. Oh well, 3 cars are in the pits this time around then, just like last time. So again, not many people coming to the pits there. Has Fanjo got wing damage? He has, you know, and I think that's wing. Yeah, the arrow changing the nose cone on the Williams car, and so Fanjo has got wing damage, and he's dropping down into 13th position. Now the Williams driver is center in the pits as well. Now this is a change of tyres, and Slayer is out of the pits as well. And Marsky then is not going to gain too many positions. Unfortunately, he's a bit too far back. Then look at that. Then, goodness me, it's incredible. This rain is absolutely relentless. It has been raining non-stop since the start of this Grand Prix. Prix almost 30 minutes ago. Over 30 minutes ago. It is still coming down. It is still absolutely lashing down out there. Look at this, and I think that Senna and Co is going to be absolutely drenched, aren't they? Their overalls are going to be saturated. They're going to be sitting in puddles of water in these cars, and of course with low speeds as well here in Singapore. It's going to be quite annoying as well. It's just going to be sloshing around in there, isn't it? Goodness gracious me! And of course that is the perils of the open cockpit formula, isn't it? So the dynamic of this race has completely changed then. Wet tyres can do the whole race, so no point pitting is Alibi's prediction there, or Alibi's viewpoint there. Now, I was saying that as well. Of course, you don't need to pit when you're using the wet wear tyres or the intermediate tyres. And the question was about the durability, and Critical Alibi may have answered that question for us on lap 15 out of 31 here. So the wet tyres can do a full race, and so Immortal leads then. Second position is young Tommy Malnado's now in the podium spots, and Serious Mushroom in 4th position, Bradfield in 5th then, and Florin is the other driver who hasn't pitted in 7th position then. In terms of the in terms of the changes so far, and Serious Mushroom is at 13 positions, Bradfield at 14, Wilson at 12 positions as well. Fandra dropping down 12, unfortunately, on pole sitter. He has got a lot of work to do, hasn't he? But he's on fresh wet tyres, and let's see how this one plays out. I hope you're all sitting comfortably. We've got one more lap beyond the safety car then, so this is a good opportunity there to grab a drink then. Of course, if McDonald's is close by you, order Just Eat or something like I can do, because they're only about 5 minutes away. To be honest, so that's very lazy, and it probably is actually quick for me to get one rather than order it from Just Eat, but there we go. But of course, this is a good opportunity to grab a brew, grab a coffee, grab a cup of joe, and because this one is going to be a fantastic end to this one, I have no doubt about that. We have one more lap on the safety car, and it's a good opportunity to take stock, as we're now at half distance here in this race. We're at half distance in Singapore, and it feels like I've been on there for a humongous amount of time here tonight, and we have still got half the race to go. Immortal leads the race then. Of course, the drivers in the top 5 have not stopped. Immortal leads, young Tommy is second then. Third position is Malnado, superb defensive skills once again. Serious Mushroom in 4th, with Bradfield in 5th position. New Potato is in 6th position. He's on the fresher tyres compared to the drivers in front of him. 7th position is Florida. He had a drive-through penalty, but he was quick in qualifying, wasn't he? 8th position is Wilson. He has a 5-second penalty. Connect set on fresh wet tyres in 9th position. Fresher wet tyres in 9th position with Siege. Also on fresh wet tyres in 10th position, and Gordo in 11th then. Diashi in a 12th position there. He's struggling for pace at the moment, Diashi is there. But this is this race is about survival at the moment, isn't it? Fanjo, who's just coming to the pits, and he had damage to his front wing then. He is in 13th position there, with Slayer in 14th, Senna in 15th, and Marsky in 16th. There are 16 cars left for now, the 20 that started. Retirements was V Todd, Reflections, Farf, and TK, and all out of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, then as they're just on board then. And just as Slayer saying, don't have to pit, don't want to be on 45 to 50% wets, 50% tire rate, tire wear at the end of this race. Then, so that could be crucial later on in this one. And I think the likes of Fanjo and Slayer and Senna, of course, then would be on fresh tires, and probably only 25% then towards the end of the race. And that may be crucial to the outcome of this Grand Prix. Now Immortal then is our safety car leader then, so he's going to let Bernd Mylander go, and he is going to back up the pack. There Bernd Mylander goes then, so he's going to back up the pack then, and he is then going to, when is he going to drop the hammer? Young Tommy has been quicker than Immortal, I think, so far in this race then, but of course, as the great Murray Walker used to say, catching is one thing, passing is quite another. Young Tommy has got the quicker car, but he can't get past Immortal at the places where he needs to. Well, he needs to get past Immortal at any place, really, doesn't he, if he wants to win the Grand Prix. Now then, on board Mercedes, and as we're now back racing, then yes, Immortal has gone then, and yes, indeed they have gone. Serious Mushroom has dropped back quite precariously then, so Immortal, so Serious Mushroom has dropped by the top 3 then, and now we're back racing on lap 17 then. It's the second half of the Grand Prix then, and here we go. As goodness me, the first half was very much cooking up a recipe for absolute action in the second half, and here we go then. Bradfield in 5th position, there he is at the moment. Lovely 17 Fanjo is already alongside Diashi. He is past Diashi. He has got past Diashi. Fanjo up in the 12th position. This is where his comeback is on. Where can he go from here on in then for Fanjo? How long is he going to be able to take to get through this field as well? Is the podium still possible for Fanjo after having to come into the pits to repair the broken nose cone on the Williams car? Well, then we'll soon find out then, won't we? McLaren of Wilson, and having a look at Florida, but he's a bit too far back, going down then into turn 7. And look at this, his connectors have been very racy since changing those tyres, and now looking for Benez. He's got half the tyre life and half the tyre stint now. The drivers in front of Florin and Wilson, and well, he's got more than half in Florin's case. Now, Florin is struggling with grip by the looks of things as he was trying to put the power down, wasn't he? In goodness me then. So Morso has got 7/10 of a second. Martin Aldo's dropped back by 1.2 seconds on this lap alone. Serious Mushroom is almost 2 seconds away from Welsh. Martin Aldo as they are stretching their legs slightly. Now this is the field spread. It's quite apparent in street racing, isn't it? There, of course, because you cannot get on the power unless you're, of course, you're one car length behind the car. So that is why you cannot get on the power as early as you would like that. Fangio having a look at Gordo. Not quite a Gordo, maybe a bit more difficult to pass for Fangio because Gordo is only coming to pits there a couple of laps ago. Just watching Connexen, who is very racy at the moment there. So he's doing a good job out there. Connexen is absolutely fantastic in the AlphaTauri. He was a late substitute with Dylan having connection and technical difficulties, wasn't it? Unfortunately, and Florin's gone wide. Florin's gone wide there, and that is just opened the door for Wilson. And I think that Connex couldn't get past, and all could Siege either. And this has really bunched up this gaggle of cars now, and this is not really what Fangio wanted, is it? There, because Fangio is tough to overtake a gaggle of cars. He'd rather do one at a time, wouldn't he? But that is not good at all. Then, so Florin going a bit wide there. Of course, Bruno Senna and Alguersuari, I think, crashed there, and also Danny Ricciardo crashed there as well. Gordo is trying to defend there from Fangio, and he's done a good job there. But Fangio, is he going to try going up and under? Not quite then. As Gordo, as we mentioned, he's going to be a tough cookie to crack. Gordo is in the Ferrari. He is not going to wave Fangio through, is he? And of course, I don't think Fangio would like to be waved through either, of course, as he is a real racer. Diash has got a 3-second penalty on a bit of a difficult time out there. Diash is in the second McLaren, but it's not all done and dusted yet, is it? And just looking at Fangio, then he is now gaining. He is going alongside Gordo. He's on the outside. Gordo has the inside there, but Gordo knows that the job has been done for Fangio, and he is through and up into 11th position there. Senna has just got past Marski and moved himself up in the 15th position there. And it connects there, and look at that thing. So Connect's going to get by. Marski's got back past the Senna there. I thought job was done there, but Marski's having none of it, and he's back through and up in the 15th position there. So Senna there, wiggling his wheel there, so weaving a bit there. So I'm wondering if Senna's not liking something about that. Perhaps potentially just going over the Anderson Bridge as well. The gap between New Potato contact there, coming over the Anderson Bridge there, and that is a really wrong foot. Connects as well, and can Siege get past it? Connects it, going down at Raffles at Boulevard. I would have looked there, but not quite at the moment. Fangio were too far away as well then. But yeah, this is going to get very feisty. I think then lap 18 out of 31. As we've already heard then, these drivers, the drivers at the front do not need to stop then. As long as they feel like they've got the tyre life, and they should only have 50% tyre wear on these wet wear tyres then. So they're trying to go to the end then. And I would hazard a guess there, because they haven't come in under safety car. Marski has got a 3-second penalty for his efforts there. Unfortunately, down in 15th position there. Slayer is not making much inroads at the moment. 14th on fresh wet wear tyres at the moment. Slayer isn't, unfortunately. Bradfield doing a superb job, but he's now homing in on a Serious Mushroom in 4th and 5th. New Potato in 6th. Well, Wilson has got a bit of is now starting to become the Trulli in the Trulli train at the moment in 7th there. As Florin is just a bit too far back at the moment. And it's just on board then is Alibot saying, but you've lost 6 places and it's going to be difficult to get them back unless there's a safety car. Every time Tommy smiles to win, he gets 20% pace improvement. Doesn't he just say, young Tommy? He's a relentless driver, isn't it? Goodness gracious me, it's like Jaws, isn't it? Young Tommy, when you see young Tommy in your wing mirrors, you surely think of Jaws and the Jaws theme song there. And young Tommy there does have a sniff of the win, doesn't he? But is he going to go for it is the question I'm going to ask. Of course, this is a good opportunity for young Tommy. Fangio is not scoring any points. He is extending his lead, and the lead will be up to 28 points if it as it stands well now, but there's still a long way to go. We're on lap 19 out of 31 then, and yes, we have got about 12 laps to go in this race, and there's a lot that can happen in 12 laps. We've already seen that, so this race has already attested to that as well, and with the action that we've seen so far. Going over the Anderson Bridge once again, and connects us all over the back of Florin. Florin has not dropped off too much off the pace on those wet wear tyres, has he then? So he's very happy indeed then. Fangio then, look at this, as he is crossing crawled all over the back of Siege, and Siege in turn has crawled all over the back of Connect, and on the outside there goes Fanjo. He's going to be forced into the wall. He is in the wall there, and Siege there, and Fanjo has damaged the car, and that is the perils of being involved in midfield madness there, and that is a shame there for Fanjo, is it there? And yes, he went on the outside there, and oh goodness me, we had issues earlier on there with Todd and Wilson, but it looks of things, but Fanjo is in major peril here. Then is the man who's second the World Championship. Dylan may be grinning from ear to ear. I know that is not good, is it? And that is such a shame then, as Serious Mushroom is in the pits, and Serious Mushroom is in the pits, and what has happened to Serious Mushroom then? So he is coming into the pits, and I think we're going to see Fanjo in the pits as well. What a shame for Fanjo. And Serious Mushroom, let's see who's having a superb race, and Haas mechanics are primed and ready to go. Yellow flag in sector 3. Senna is around the wrong way as well. Senna is around the wrong way, and also Fanjo in the pits as well. And no, I feel that's a pit stop. I think that Serious Mushroom felt the tyres going off then. Fanjo in the pits, and so he's going to have another new nose cone. That's 2 nose cones out for Fanjo. He was controlling the race in the first half. It's a race of 2 halves here for the Williams team, and he comes out of the pits now. Oh dear, folks. So Fanjo's got a lot to has really got a lot to digest now, isn't he? But he has the pace, doesn't he? And let's see how quickly he can get himself back into this one. On board with New Potato is now in 5th position. There is a Williams 1-2 in qualifying, and now 16th and 5th on the road. So that's not good at all. Alan Boyce just asked, is the track drawing? Doesn't look like it's raining as much unless it's the camera. I think that it's still raining quite heavily on, but yes, I think you are right, because I think it is actually it's not raining as heavy especially in certain camera angles anyway. Back to this incredible battle here between Wilson, Flora and Connects. Siege, absolutely mega 7D. Gordo is now in the points as well. Diash just on the outside at the moment looking in there, so it may be about the battle of the penalties as well. Wilson does have a 5-second penalty, which I assume that he'll be testing there. Mushroom Pitting might win in the race then if the front runners can't take the tyres to the end then. Yes, so Serious Mushroom may be going for a extreme undercut of this race then. We don't know the tyre strategy, which is absolutely great, I think, and it's absolutely good stuff indeed. But look at the amount of laps they've done on the wet wear tyres, and they're not going to be too fresh by the end of this one, are they? 11 laps to go. Now Florin is feeling, of course, he lost his position, didn't he? Florin did that a couple of laps ago when he went wide. Then Senna's got a 3-second penalty. Senna's race has not gone too well at all, unfortunately. Across the line it comes there. Wilson is now 2.5 seconds back from New Potato. New Potato is now putting the pressure on Bradfield, who's having a superlative Grand Prix in 4th so far. New Potato is currently in 5th. Wilson is 6th, and then we've got this almighty battle between Wilson and Flora. He's having a look there. But I thought he was having a look there, but he wasn't even anywhere near, was he? Unfortunately. Now let's see what Connects can do then. So even on fresher tyres, Serious Mushroom is up into 14th. Even on fresher tyres now, Connects and Siege have, and Senna has called it a day. He's out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. He's coming to the pit lane. I know that is such a shame now. Even on the fresher wet tyres that he has done 10, oh goodness me, that was a squirrel there, wasn't it, for Flora. Again on the power a bit too heavily. 10 lap wet tyres there for Connects and for Siege. 20 lap for Flora, and of course Flora has started on the race on these wet tyres, but he just can't make inroads at the moment, can he? So that could be crucial in the decision about whether they come in or not. And remember, it's also about the integrity of the tyre as well, of course. You do not want to get delamination or any of that kind of stuff, do you? Or puncture territory. That is also going to be a concern as well. But these wet wear tyres are quite impressive of what they can do. And they've done 21 laps now on this race tyre, haven't they? And young Tommy is coming at Immortal again. And now young Tommy is extending his championship lead to 128 points then at the moment there, with just 5 races to go, and potentially he could, hang on, am I making a statement too far here? Can he win it I don't think he can win it in Japan. As we mentioned, the earliest he can win it is United States Grand Prix for young Tommy, but he's on the cusp at the moment, isn't he? But as I said, there's 10 laps to go in this race. Am I getting too ahead of myself? Indeed I am there, of course. Fanjo could do absolutely magical things in that motor car, can he, that Williams, but he is down in 50th position. Even the great Fanjo, surely he can't get any points from here, can he? Not without a safety car. And if you like, the safety car probability is still quite high high in this one. Maldonado is really dropped off as of late then. And look, we have got Bradfield, who has all of a sudden put a spurt on. Bradfield might be thinking about maybe a podium here. And Slayer's got a 3-second penalty. That is going to hurt him, I think, then. And that may cost him some points in this one. And there is just young Tommy's in the background. Maldonado is struggling all of a sudden now, as she was doing very well. But now all of a sudden Bradfield is really putting his toe down. We're on board Bradfield in the white Red Bull liveried car. And of course, as Fanjo's just at the fast of the race as we dip in the we dip under the 2 minutes end as well for fast up as well. Not the goodness gracious me, Senna has left the session, and that is our 5th retirement of the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, 15 cars remain in this very wet and soggy Singapore Grand Prix. Testament to all these drivers out there. Goku saying no, Mushroom. Sorry, it's Senna. Yeah, so it's Mushroom in the 14th position there. He has come into the pits. Mushroom has said as he's gone for an extreme undercut. It wasn't damage to the car there, so Mushroom decided to come in the pits there. He's struggling on those tires. He's 19 seconds away from Marsky, but they are all starting to condense into each other there, because the drivers at the front there have not come in the pits, have they? So Bradfield is having a look there, but Maldonado too far in front of him there. That would have been DRS in the dry, wouldn't it there? But it's too wet out there at the moment there for the DRS. Of course, the DRS will be disabled there, as it is too dangerous indeed. Then Maldonado is going to... Oh, contact there! Contact between Bradfield and Maldonado. Bradfield is determined there for a podium. What would have been an absolutely incredible Grand Prix today. He has really stood out in the seat of this Red Bull car. He didn't qualify, did he? He's down in 19th position, Bradfield was. He's now in 4th position and doing a superlative Grand Prix at the moment. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed there. He is at 15th position at the moment now. Wilson's at 14 as well. There, the position change at the moment now. Across the line, and Immortal though still leading with young Tommy in second. The gap keeps fluctuating, doesn't it, between Tommy and Immortal there. Young Tommy seems to have a break, then goes back on the march again, doesn't he? For young Tommy. But he still cannot make inroads into Immortal, who is going for his 3rd Grand Prix win of his career here tonight. And that'll be 3 wins for Immortal, 3 wins for Fanjo, and 3 wins for young Tommy. Impressive stuff indeed there, isn't it? The wins are being shared out quite nicely indeed then. Coming down the back straight once again then, here in this is what is going to be very much a thriller to the end of the Grand Prix, isn't it? And now I think the Bradfield, was desperate to get past, because look, we're now on board with the first ever Bronze World Champion in ALR. This is New Potato. He is 5 tenths of a second back, and this is one strong driver for New Potato, who's had a horror show of a season, but this is fantastic indeed. Remember, in Monaco, he was absolute living a dream, wasn't he? And here tonight as well, he had to have an early pit stop, didn't he? But since then, he has been very much on the march. He's back on the 5th position. He's got the fresher tyres of everyone out there at the moment. In the top 5 or 6 anyway. Wilson is only 2 seconds back, and I keep looking at that gap there. Going over the Anderson Bridge. Bradfield is trying to go up and under there. Not quite though. It's Miles Schmann just seems to take off for that corner. Lovely. However, she's really struggling for pace though. She is now 5 seconds away from young Tommy. So Maldonado, if she got damaged, there is something going wrong with the Aston Martin car here, and she is losing time, hand over fist, and now Wilson is now starting to gap these drivers as well. On board with Maldonado, and here this is going to be ultimate pressure. Then this is the final spot on the rostrum, on the podium here tonight. Then, oh my goodness gracious me. Then, so they're queuing up for that final podium. Welsh Maldonado has held that podium very nicely indeed. Then, but as we come into the twilight of this Grand Prix, this is going to be very much edge of the seat kind of stuff, man. Bradfield's done superb. I think all the drivers that sit in this race have done absolutely fantastic stuff out there, and all of them deserve a podium there, but there's only 3 spots for the podium here tonight. Wilson is now less than a second and a half. There he is in the background there. Bradfield has just tapped the back of Maldonado's car out there. I think he misjudged the braking point, and he's dropped down into 9th position. That's how bunched up they are. And Bradfield there has made a mistake, and Gordo's on the inside. That's contact. And goodness gracious me there. And so Bradfield slamming the door shut, and he's dropped down into 7th position there. And that is cruel luck indeed there. And look, connects there all over the back of Florin as well. And Florin there is having issues there. Fanjo is setting fast up after fastest up, isn't he? He's absolutely like a freight train up the inside. Goes and connects, and he's got past, and Florin has dropped it. It's gone on the outside there. Are these wet tires starting to fall off a cliff then perhaps? And maybe then, so some drivers seem to be struggling more than others. It's been about tyre management in this one. on Dylan saying, ooh, Bradfield. Unfortunately, that is such a shame for Bradfield because I think he was on the cusp of getting a brilliant podium here tonight then. So that is such a shame indeed. Florin is really struggling out there, isn't he? He's very much struggling. I think both Aston Martins tires have gone into a wet slick, hasn't there? We've heard about the interslick, now it's a wet slick. Goodness gracious me. And yeah, really struggling now, isn't he? Because New Pateo is right up behind his former teammate at the start of the season. 6 tenths of a second separates those two drivers at the moment. Oh goodness gracious me then. Oh goodness me, who's that? That's Gordo then getting a bit squirrely on the acceleration pedal then. Diashi and Slayer and Marsky there also in company as well. We've got Fangio's now 16 seconds away. He's got past Cirrus Mushroom. He does have 16 seconds gap between himself, Marsky and Slayer, and then I think he's got about a 17-18 second gap then. Tony Marsky, he's off the track there, down at turn 15, and he's recovering, but he's damaged the car. Marsky has he's going to have to pit because that is a lot of damage as well. So Fangio at the moment there is quick. He is quite quick indeed then. Is it going to be quick enough then with 7 laps to go then? A virtual safety car. It's a full safety car. Oh my goodness me. And this is very much gone into the hands of Fangio and Cirrus Mushroom. And is anyone going to box this lap then? No one is boxing. And goodness me. And so it's the fresh tyres. And this is going to help Fangio. This may help Marsky as well because he's lost the whole of the wing now, Marsky has. And he comes into the pits there. Oh goodness gracious me then. And that's not good at all. There as critical, brutal indeed then. Because then I came in and saw Bradfield spin. I'm used to that then. Go saying, why are you not driving Dylan there? Unfortunately, Dylan had issues there. Center, I fudged up badly. I didn't even tap Jake on the screen now, unfortunately. Yeah, there's issues there on Dylan's an intermediate tyres going on for Marsky. So this is going to get very interesting indeed. There's Marsky coming out of the pits now then. Oh, goodness gracious me then. So that is a shrewd maneuver then. So the guys at the front now, are they going to be concerned about this and about this safety car? And it's really going to bunch up then. And Fangio may be able to salvage something out of this race then, out of this Grand Prix. But the drivers with 5 seconds and 3 second penalties and all that kind of jazz are going to be a bit disappointed with that then. So that's such a shame then. As we're just now on board with Immortal, as Alibi is just asking me to switch back to the tire life. I will in good time, sir. So we're just analysing the positions there. Let me quickly analyse that. There's a goal then for Alex Iwobi for Everton. If any of you Evertonian fans out there, but Immortal currently up 2 positions there. Up 15 is now Wilson. Bradfield up 10. Fangio is down at 12 positions then. So Fangio I think can do quite a lot from there. Is anyone going to come into the pits there on this one? Because they aren't caught to the safety car just yet, and so in theory they might be able to go. Some of the drivers there at the back of the field, maybe the likes of Slayer, might come to the pits there and throw on the intermediate tyres there. A good call from Marsky, Troy is saying now, and I think that may be that could be potentially a very good call indeed there. Siege has just got past that floor now, which is not allowed under the safety car, so he's have to get the position back. No one is coming in the pits then with just a handful of laps to go. Of course there's a very long lap around here, isn't there? Of course, this one is it's been a brutal race indeed. We're on lap 26 out of 31. 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. The rain has been absolute relentless, hasn't it? Might as well gamble. He's got nothing to lose that stretch anyway, Troy is saying. And just now on board with Welshman, other than 7 seconds back at the moment. She doesn't want to take any ounce of life out of the tire. And into the pits does come Slayer, and Slayer is in the pits. Another set of wet tyres indeed. And so Slayer is in now. He should get out. Is he going to get out in front of Fangio? Then Red Bull are in quite high up in the pit lane now, and so I think that it's going to be close there. But I think that he's not going to get out in front. He doesn't get out in front of Fangio, but he might be able to follow Fangio through the field if Fangio can get through. Of course, then that is that. Of course. Maybe I'm taking his pace a bit too much for granted there, potentially there with the old wet wear tyres compared to everyone else. And Cirrus Mushroom, who was in a very solid 5th or 6th position before he pit then, but he wanted the fresh tyres as well. He's in 14th position. Cirrus Mushroom is at the moment now. Morris is losing time to Mushroom, to be honest then. And just taking a look then, yes, and that is under the safety car. So so he's looking at, he's already up here. That's a very good call there from Alibi. He is up 16.7 seconds, and they are technically got no safety car delta now. So it'd be interesting to see how that pace goes. Yeah, it's up to 17 seconds, and I'm not sure if Marsky pushed though. That is the question we need to have ourselves answered for. So it's just now on board with Serious Mushroom. 15 cars remain then in the 15 cars remain then. We have actually touched on an hour long of racing now. We've had a lot of safety cars out here tonight, haven't we? And it's very much elongated this race. Yes, so we've been racing now for an hour and a minute. Then if my watch is concerned, if my watch is right, when a broken watch is always right, it's always right at least twice a day. So I'm hoping that this watch is going to be right on this instant. But I think it is an hour and 1 minute now. Goodness gracious me, there. Troy saying he has to commit now. Show the tires, please. Kakarot Goku is saying, I will in just a minute, my good sirs, and I am keeping the position changes up there for just 1 minute now, and then I'll change back, my good sirs. Don't worry about that. The tires will be up before the end of the safety car period then. So don't worry about that, my good sirs. Then. Yes, one more lap beyond the safety car then, and then we'll be back racing then to the flag. We hope then. So at the end of 27, then we'll have 28, we'll have 29, we'll have 30, and we'll have 31 then. So the poll is up then. So who is your driver of the day then here in this Singapore Grand Prix? Then it's a tough one to ask, isn't there? Immortal, Young Tommy, or Welsh Maldonado? Who is your pick then going to be here tonight? And it's a very hardcore, isn't it? It's going to be interesting indeed then to say. It's going to be very interesting indeed, isn't it? So put your votes in, guys. Then I'm not even sure who to vote on that one. That's going to be a tough one indeed, isn't it? On board now as well then, Troy saying 2 minute cars to pass if he's on wet tires anyway. Then Troy is saying just in regards to the old tire and the old tire strategy. Marsky is 20 seconds behind. He's losing time hand over fist, isn't he? I think the intermediate tires. I think it's a good idea, but I'm not sure if the intermediate tires are going to work. It's just too well there. There's too many puddles there. So the intermediate tires cannot disperse that amount of water on the circuit there. So the front runners have done 26 laps. Then that is Immortal, Young Tommy, Maldonado, all on 26 laps. 23 laps for Welsh Maldonado and 23 laps for New Potato and Wilson. 16 laps for Connexa, 26 laps for Florin, 16 laps for Siege, 26 laps for Bradfield, 16 laps for Gordon, 24 for Diash as well. There's a lot of lap pitch out there, isn't there? Golly gosh, and Fanjo's done 6 laps. Slayer on new wet tires and almost new wet tires there for Serious Rusher as well. Marsky now on the intermediate tires then. And as Alibi is saying, mine is Wilson then. Of course, Wilson has moved up 5 positions, hasn't he? Good stuff indeed there. Mortal is currently on 45%, is on 45% there for votes for driver of the day then. Young Tommy on 27%, Welsh Maldonado on 27% as well. Good stuff indeed there for all those drivers out there. Really good stuff, Fed. Of course, brilliant then, as we are now just getting ready to go racing once again then for Singapore. If they serve them outside of the safety car, cross the line with the 5-second penalties, I'm pretty sure they could be removed in ALR. Yes, they can then, of course. So I think the 5-second penalties, if they are deemed to be unfairly given out then by the game, then you can get the 5-second penalties removed then. So it's all gravy. It's all gravy indeed then. We're back racing then now here in Singapore. 27. We're on 28 now, and here it goes. Bert Molander has gone then. Marsky's already a second back from Serious Motion. We're going to keep an eye on that intermediate car of Marsky, but unfortunately, I wonder if that is a risk too far, perhaps. And we're out of the final turn then, and let's go then. Here we go then. Immortal leads. Second position is Young Tommy. Maldonado in third position. We got New Potato in fourth, and Wilson in fifth position. Connects in sixth. Seventh position is Florin with Siege in eighth position. Bradfield and off, and Fanjo's got past Diashi and is now in 11th position there. As his march is on to get a point then, which he looked very much lost, and he's technically got that point then, because I think Gordo has got 3 seconds of penalties at the moment, which indeed he has there. Of course, you cannot have 3-second penalties removed there. Diashi is defending quite heavily. Oh, Fanjo's got a 3-second penalty. That's going to cost him. On the outside goes Slayer. Magnificent performance there. Great stuff indeed there. We had a rubbish camera angle, but that was magical stuff indeed there. Well, Fanjo's got a 3-second penalty, but he is still through nonetheless. Serious Motion look then, but a bit too far back at the moment. So Fanjo does have a 3-second penalty. He has to catch, he has to pass, and then go 3 seconds up the road from the drivers in front of him. Let's see how this one could do then. Immortal then, after 13 votes, and Immortal has still got driver of the day with 38%. Young Tommy and Welsh Maldonado both on 31% at the moment now. Of course, then I think that they've been very good indeed. As Florence got a 3-second penalty as well. The penalties may start. Bradfield is almost off the circuit. Great catch there from Bradfield, goodness me. I wonder if he played rounders earlier on then. Fantastic stuff. Oh, Slayer. Oh, he's in the wall. And I've wondered if Slayer there, as I said, I was trying to sneak on the inside over the Anderson Bridge there. I'm sure he's damaged the nose cone of that Red Bull. And he's dropping down the order then. Simon Diashi then, who's racing down Raffles at Boulevard then. Slayer hasn't got damage to that win then. Goodness gracious me. He has got a lot of luck on his side then. Fanjo's now into 9th position then. Tommy there is still 6/10 per second back. Remember when he was fighting with Farf in Austria? Young Tommy would say. Young Tommy doesn't. It's not. He doesn't really throw caution to the wind, does he? At this stage of the races, he's done a superb job there. Marsky dropping back. He's 5 seconds away, unfortunately. Marsky has had that intermediate tire. I do agree with Troy, and I would have done the same thing, to be honest. Marsky there, just trying out the intermediate tires, but unfortunately that didn't work out too well. Diashi is off the circuit, and Diashi's had a bit of a quiet race, hasn't he? He's really struggled, I think. Diashi is in these wet weather conditions, unfortunately, and he is been crawling back to the pits there. But Diashi there, oh goodness me, he's oh gosh, there he's gone right off back at the front. Then this is the gap now, and that yellow flag is for Diashi there. As I think a bit of frustration in the car there of Diashi, so just coming down the back straight as well. And also got 6:10 for a second lead there. Look, here's New Patel then, as he is now putting pressure on former teammate Welsh Manado. Welsh Manado has gone from Williams driver to now Williams rival. Goodness me then. And just on board, Gordo's got a 3-second penalty as well. I think that's 6 seconds now. Unfortunately, Cryptic Alibi is really putting the shoe into a Slayer. Oh my goodness me, it's a bit of banter perhaps. Fancher's on the inside. That's not, oh my gosh, there's a, no, goodness gracious me. How did they get through there? It's beyond me. But oh goodness me, there's a bump in and all kinds of shenanigans on over there. How did they get through that? How did they get through the Singapore sling side by side? It's beyond me. Oh my goodness me, it's Fanjo is forcing his way through. Get his helmets on it. Oh no, goodness me. And Siege there, I'm wondering if he should have given up the position there, perhaps. Maybe, and that is a Fanjo. Oh my gosh, there, and Slayer, who's lost the whole of the front wing there, and I think he accelerated and just went veering across the corner, and Fanjo is out of the Grand Prix. He has gone right off, and that is fury. I think that is just absolute, that is rage there from Fanjo. And oh gosh, he's upside down. He's upside down, Fanjo is there. And he is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. No points in for the man who's second in the championship. As I'm wondering if Siege may should have backed out of that one potentially. Maybe. I'm usually 9 times out of 10 I am wrong on racing incidents, so I might be wrong on that one. But I think Siege might should have dropped back then. Back on board now with Welsh, now with New Potato, I should say. That Siege has got back past Sarah, and Sarah's coming into the pits. So we're down to 14 cars in this race then, and so that is such a shame indeed. That Connect is now 3/10 a second away from Wilson, and there he is, and lap 30 out of 31 then. At the moment, the driver of the day, vote said, is so far immortal. 38%, 31 for Young Tommy and Welsh Manado, and that is such a shame then. Cryptic is saying then, well, Fanjo didn't leave no room then, so yes, I could be wrong then. Remember that remember I've been involved in all kinds of shenanigans. He's up the inside. Oh, that's contact. So goodness me, that may have been a day late and $1 short then. Oh goodness gracious me then. But yeah, there's Alibi saying he looks like the Fanjo didn't leave him enough room then. Car went real just now on board then with Connect. Car went red real by the looks then of my screen, so I swerved then. So Slayer was taking evasive action by the looks then, and that's why unfortunately he swerved then on the straight then. So yeah, so I thought it might have been a puddle or something then, but yeah, so unfortunately Sarah was just caught up in all kinds of shenanigans there, which is such a shame then. Connect Sarah is still pushing on then, but not as much as what New Potato is pushing to get past Martinado. Martinado has done a superb job there once again, like in Russia there, because I was giving Baguette very good plaudits with her performance in Russia, I think, and I think the Maldonado did a superb performance there to keep Immortal back as long as she did. And I think today, once again, she is becoming the defensive master, isn't she? Goodness gracious me! Someone needs to call who's the best defender in the world right now? Hang on. Oh, it's Van Dijk. That's who it is. And I need to call Van Dijk. Then maybe we'll have to have Maldonado and Van Dijk in the Liverpool defence. But yeah, great defensive try once again then for Maldonado. She's got this first position so far, but the pressure is still on with one more lap to go. Connects is pushing Wilson as hard as he. Oh, that that's going to be contact again, and he's diving up the inside, connects his, he's got younger tyres on, but it looks like, oh, there's wing damage from somewhere. What's that? What's that from? That's wing damage from who? And who it's got for us? Oh no, it's a new potato. He's got wing damage on the final lap then, and that means that I think Miles Spanaloger is home in drive for upset. And look at this, and that's contact between connects and new potato then, as he is limping home then. He's going to defend as hard as he can then, but he's got no wing on one of the most difficult tracks in the world. And look at Bradfield is stuck for as well. And I think the man Nada then might be home and dry on that one then. I'm not sure what happened then with new potato. Oh goodness me then, but new. He has got a wing, has he? He's got a wing now. Oh, no, he hasn't got a wing. Goodness me. It's a Houdini wing now. Goodness gracious me. Oh, goodness me. Then that Williams there is struggling to turn it. Serious Mushroom is in ninth position now, so he's recovered to get into the points then. Lovely stuff indeed then. Wilson is doing a good job on a new potato. Is out of the race then. Oh, he's in the middle of the circuit. There's debris all over the course there. And goodness me, I hope this Serious Mushroom got through unharmed there, as he's doing a good job there. Oh, my golly gosh said. And what a battle of the race. What a battle. Look at that puddle there. Goodness gracious me. It just shows how wet it's been out there. It's a full wet race here tonight, and we're down to 13 cars in this race. New Potato is going to be absolutely furious with that then, unfortunately. And now is we're coming in to the final couple of corners as well, and this race has been on for almost an hour and well, goodness me, almost an hour and 10 minutes. Immortal out of final turn, and Immortal is going to win his third Grand Prix of the season. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a performance there for Immortal. He withstood the pressure so long now. As Bradfield in a superb fourth position as well. Of course, the race result will be pending now. Keep an eye on Twitter, Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but as we might have some 5-second penalties they may need removing. Of course, there's CJ just coming across the line, and now we've got Marsky and Slayer there. Unfortunately it didn't go too well for those drivers tonight, did it? But it did go very well for this man Immortal. What a performance there. Young Tommy in second, Washman not in third position there. Immortal gets driver of the day as well with 43%. Well, the votes still open then, but 43% there for Immortal, 29% for Young Tommy, and for Young Tommy and Welshman. Good stuff indeed there. Wilson, I got 5 seconds to be removed at full, so P4 for Wilson, and good stuff indeed. Absolutely mega job there. Slayer is facing the wrong way. Goodness gracious me then, as Slayer's very good race there. Unfortunately, it's become unraveled then in the second half there. It's a race of two halves. It really was indeed there. And very good driving indeed there all around there. There's a couple of little shenanigans going on. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed there, but it's Immortal who is absolutely incredible form indeed there. Good stuff indeed then. And so Immortal there, brilliant stuff there. Second position today was Young Tommy. What a performance there for Young Tommy, and he extends in the World Championship to 128 points then. So the dream is very much alive, and maybe he can get the Grand Prix, maybe get the World Championship in the United States. And goodness me, the land of opportunity there for Young Tommy. But Immortal, that is going to help him knowing, and I think he's going to move up into second in the driver's standings. Hang on, let me get my calculator out. Oh gosh, there we go. Oh goodness gracious me then. Right then, let's just take a final look at the classification from the where are we? No, not the Russian Grand Prix, from the Singapore Grand Prix. What a race that was there. Immortal with driver of the day, fantastic 43% of the votes there. I'm not arguing that. Washman Nardo second for driver of the day on 31%, and Young Tommy 25% in a third position as well. So Immortal won the race then from third to win this one. Young Tommy from 6th to 2nd there. Marnado from 7th to 3rd. Brilliant stuff indeed. Bradfield from 19th to 4th. Fantastic. He was the game's driver of the day. Connects in 5th position. Florin in 6th there. Wilson, who is 7th, may go promoted back up the 4th then. Sirius Rusher in 8th then. Gordo in 9th then. Siege in 10th position there. Outside the top 10 is Marsky 11th. Diashi in 12th and Slayer in 13th. New Potato unfortunately retired towards the end there out of the race then, with Fanjo, Senna, Vitard, Reflections, Farf and TK unfortunately all retired then from the where are we? Singapore Grand Prix. Sirius Rush was unhappy. Silver is corrupt then. However, I would say that the driver of the day also means that qualifying as well, my good answers. Right, let's go to the interviews, shall we? And I don't think Immortal's in yet, so let's start off with young Tommy. Well, young Tommy, that was a good race, wasn't it? And I've got to say, it's really fallen into place for you. You're now 128 points, give or take, in front of your nearest championship rival now. That's a good night's work.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good race overall. I knew that Fangio had good pace in the rain. I see a motto as well. I'm not sure what happened to Fangio, why he pit. I didn't see anything, so I can't tell much about that, but it was a good race overall, I think.
Fangio looks like he had to have a wing change or something. I'm not sure how he damaged his wing then, but he was walking away in it. But it's a race of two halves really, because when he was in the pack, he did get involved in some other shenanigans as well. But talking about the second half, it was so incredibly intense between yourself and Immortal. Absolutely fantastic stuff. It was lap after lap, turn after turn. You and Immortal was fighting tooth and nail for that first position.
Yeah, I mean, I was always getting some more pace, some less. Like, every lap it was like 2 or 3 times that just difference us. And it was going good at some point. But I didn't see any ability to get closer to him and actually go for a move because I know my pace in the rain. I know I'm not too bad, but anything quicker than that would have gone apart from my performances, I think.
Did you think about going for a all or nothing maneuver like here tonight, or was you more concerned about like just extending your lead in the championship?
I was only looking for points, to be honest. I mean, some drivers would go and actually risk something to get the win, but I mean, I didn't feel like I was in the need of it. Like, P2 is good still. P1 is better, but I mean,
Indeed, it is, Aaron. Of course, said going on to Japan. Then I don't think he could win it in Japan. Then, if my maths is right, but United States is the first place where I think you can win the world championship. You'll be the first ALR champion of the season. There, how much of an honour is it to win the championship so early on in the season?
I mean, it's a great honor to be honest, if it is if I can make it actually. I mean, last season was like the complete difference to this one, and yeah, getting like such an early season win would be great for me. Would boost my confidence a lot.
Brilliant stuff. Well done today, young Tommy. Fantastic battle between yourself and Warsaw. Brilliant stuff indeed. And we got Beck on the podium, which I think is for the third time in her career. Maldonado, fantastic stuff today. Your qualifying didn't go too well, but my goodness me, in the race there, you've really lit up the track there with your wet wear performance.
Oh, my navy blue. I tell you what, rain and Singapore should never go together. I am absolutely body limber. Yeah, it was alright. I'm surprised I got a podium, to be honest, because I was pretty much, front of the train with everyone behind. But yeah, I kept on track, so I'm happy with the podium.
How difficult was it to keep everyone behind then? Did you like look at the map and think, oh golly gosh, I'm a bit of a trilly train here, or was you not even concerned about the drivers behind you? Was you just focusing on your braking points?
Nah, I was laughing about the train because well, I don't get any of the track and everyone would have overtook me, but because of Singapore and it's wet, I could just stick in the middle of the track and I'm sorted like. But yeah, it was quite funny me being a cork in the bottle.
Of course, and having said that though, you did your hard work in qualifying, didn't you, to get up there? So that's just what I say to that, because I've been a part of the train before in Monaco, quite infamously. And of course, did you think about pitting? Because none of the front runners pitted today. Was that seemed to be the right strategy? Did you ever think about cutting the pits under the safety cars?
I did, but I looked, well, me, Dan, and Alex, we looked at the percentage of tyre at like lap 15, and it was only about 20%. I was like, oh, so, I might as well just go for it. And we saw like a couple of people pitting, and we were like, oh, they'll be stuck in traffic. So, yeah, by the time we got to like lap 20, there was no point, was there?
And how damaged was the tyres towards the end? I thought you were losing grip then, especially with New Potato bearing down on you. He lost his wing in the end there. But how difficult was it to keep New Potato back? Was he struggling on the tyre wear at the end?
Nah, that was just him just being faster than me. Either me being too cautious, not trying to bin it, or New just being a lot quicker than me, but I think they're only about 40%, 45% at the end, so it wasn't too shabby, but yeah, there's newer tyres in the world.
Cracking stuff. Well done today, Welshman Nodder. And well done to young Tommy as well, who is a step closer to maybe becoming the first ALR champion of the season. Fantastic stuff indeed. Well done to Immortal as well. I don't think Immortal's in this party, is he? He's not. Alex is though. But yes, then fantastic stuff indeed today. And I think that we're going to be leaving it there unless Alex wants to say something. No? Good stuff. Right then, that is it.
No,
We're
I'm
going
good,
to be in
mate.
action then for the Bronze Grand Prix tomorrow night. Golly gosh, Bronze had a lot of action this season, hasn't it, there? And we've had a lot of safety cars then. So I'm expecting a doozy tomorrow. Cannot wait then. But firstly, I'm going to need to lie down and have a couple of bottles of Red Bull because